Good
OG
morning.
Ma, we in the
Good
building.
morning.
She's
Happy
back.
Friday. He's back.
She is back in full effect.
We getting there. We
We
are
getting
getting
there.
there.
We
Trying
getting
not to
there.
look like what I've been through, you know what I'm saying? But I
I
feel
hear it.
good.
I hear it. That's how you do it. That's
I feel
important.
good.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Definitely. Okay, hat. Okay, hat. Let me see. What's it say?
Oh, Aloe. Yeah, get in tune with Aloe. Aloe's a dope brand. Dope,
Oh,
dope brand. They got a lot of it's like a younger Lulu.
okay.
Like for a younger crowd kind of.
Okay.
But no, I like aloe. I like aloe a lot actually. I just got put
Okay.
up on them.
I thought it said
Maybe.
OG. I don't know. I don't know why I thought it said
Oh
OG.
nah. Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah,
That would
period.
have been better. Better,
Um,
better. Yo, make sure y'all tap in. Come on, get this out to your peoples.
I
Get this
literally
out to your
just started
peoples.
sharing. I got my
Yeah, that's what I'm
pasta.
doing right now.
I got
That's
my
what I'm
little
doing right
pasta
now.
cloth going
Everything
because
is
it is hot.
Facebook. Hmm?
I said I got my little pasta cloth going. Oh wait, because it
Oh,
is hot.
usually, I especially when I'm down here, but I put the AC on. I got back in from working out and it was like humid as hell in here.
Um,
All right, so I got Facebook, I got Instagram. Let me throw it on the Twitter. Let me see what these tweets talking about. Let me see what these Twitter streets talking about.
like,
It's up, it's up.
ooh, and this week went by fast because that Monday off. I feel
Yeah,
like
this week definitely went by
I
fast.
was like, it's the weekend already. It was all good a
This
week
week
ago.
definitely went by fast.
Um, let's
Oof. We got some cool topics today. Hold on, let me grab my coffee. Hold up. All right, how we gonna do this? Oh, you
um,
coffee or tea? Now.
well to this week tea.
I'm about to say now.
For right now. Right now, I'm just doing some hot lemon water, and that's it.
Mm. Yeah, they say that's good for you.
Yeah, my
The
homegirl.
lime, the lime and the lemon.
Yeah,
Right.
my
One is
homegirl.
alkaline, I think. Well,
Yeah, my homegirl who was a nurse was like, just drink a bunch of water with lemon in it.
all right. So do you do the ginger root tea? There's
I
another one.
usually just make a concoction. So I chop up like the ginger, chop up the
Mhm.
lemon, chop up. So
Yeah.
like I always just put it in there and boil it, and then just steep it like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. With the little cayenne pepper, they say that's the
Yep. Cayenne pepper. You
hidden
can do black
ingredient.
pepper. You can do turmeric. If you don't have the root, you can do some ground turmeric. I got all that.
Mm.
I make
Turmeric is expensive.
it is, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's good. Like anti-inflammatory shit, you know. I mean stuff.
Every time I go, I'm tempted to when I'm swiping through Whole Foods, like, yeah, this is ginger root, not turmeric. But nah.
You be doing the Walmart.
Nah. Can't do it. Can't do it. Andrew Tate said I gotta follow the rules, so I follow the rules. You heard?
Oh,
You heard?
God.
Good morning, Miss Shirley.
Good morning.
Good morning. Dang, she get the pressures. All I get is Dak. Dang.
Don't hate.
Grand rising, all my beautiful kings and queens, goddess and
Happy
goddesses. You feel me? Gods and goddesses. All that.
Grand
All
Rising.
of that.
Happy Friday.
I'm feeling real godly today, yo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling
So
real
what
godly.
you going to do with that feeling? What's going to happen with that?
That's a good question. Oh, my resolution is no, we need to change this. Hold on.
Well, I'm eating on
Let me know
camera.
if I start skipping. I just changed my
Uh,
resolution. The thing was in the bottom.
it looks fine. How do you do that? So how would I know how to do that? Or is
What
that
I
just
why Miss Shirley said I need a slap on the hand?
I don't know? Because you
What
want
did
to.
I say? I said I'm feeling real godly today. I can't. Godly. Oh, what's
Pow pow.
going on?
You need a pow pow.
Huh?
I said, do
You
you
said
need a?
what?
I said, do you need a pow pow? That's what we tell little
I don't
kids. You need
know.
a pow pow. But what was I gonna say? So, question. I heard this idea, and I think it came from Wallow. I can't remember. Um, about canceling the summer to work hard, like this summer specifically. Like, do you feel like you need to cancel the summer to get work done? Or do you feel like you're the type of person that can balance doing both?
Um, I don't even know what that means. I don't.
Stop it.
I'm being for real. I don't
Canceling the summer to get work done.
like. I don't know what that like. That's like so like trivial. I'm being totally honest. I'm being
Okay.
totally honest. Like I don't believe in all that, bro. Just every day you should be getting after it. Like I don't subscribe to the whole weekend thing that everybody like. Most of my days typically are the same. The weekend may be a little bit different, but most of my days are typically the same. The weekend I may, instead of getting up early to work out, I may just work out, later on in the day. Instead of getting up to do the show, I may just record later on. So, but it's the same thing. I get what he's saying, canceling the
Okay.
summer, but I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so to
I
the
don't really
crowd.
do nothing for
Okay,
me.
so cool. I'll ask everybody else. So, have you guys ever felt like, in order to get certain things done or to work really hard, like, okay, obviously we have to lock in and say, okay, maybe I'm not going out for the next 4 weekends because I want to study those weekends. But have you ever had to like cancel the whole summer? I remember like back in the day, like if your grades weren't to par, your parents would be like, you know what? We're not having summer this year. Like this whole summer, you're gonna lock in. You're doing this, you're doing that. And so I feel like, I mean, it's summer 2023. Is this like the first official summer since COVID? No, not really. I think last year may have been that summer too. But do you feel like this summer is one of those summers you're gonna just like turn up all summer, or are you just like, nah, I'm just gonna fall back and really just keep to work? Even though as adults we do have to work still, but do you feel
That's why I
like,
said it's trivial because when Miss Shirley wrote, like, that's like to me like some younger kids like Wallow's talking to.
nah? I think that, in my opinion, I feel like he was trying to say like no vacations, no chilling, no partying, no going out to the brunches, like just focusing and locking in on your whatever goal that you want to see happen. It's just a question.
First
I
off,
think,
the majority of people aren't committing to a whole summer. So
yeah,
let's start with that. That's like going into it and having these long-term goals like for fitness. Break it down into smaller intervals. That would be my suggestion. So break it down week by week. Like, okay, you have to do these certain things, hit these certain marks, make sure that I'm doing these activities throughout the week. And then at the end of the week, I'll evaluate it and then see, like, hey, did I earn being able to go out to that brunch? Or do I
mhm,
need to catch up on my work? If you finish
yeah,
your work, I think it's important for you to go out, have that balance, enjoy it, whether that's doing the brunch, whether that's going on a hike, whatever that may be. But it just has to be a reward based on you doing work, not just a reward based on, oh, I made it to Friday. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. I think, yeah. So for me, this summer, I opted to take a job that's going to take up like most of my July, right? So even on my birthday, I'll be working. And usually I'm one of those people that are like, nah, it's my birthday. I want to turn up. I just want to have fun. And it being like my 35th, I thought that this was going to be like, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Beyonce's concert and do all this. And then the opportunity came to like work and the money is going to be good. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this instead of trying to chill and spend money. I'm going to take this month of July and really just go hard in terms of working. And so that for me, I feel like, yeah, I feel like I definitely was like, I'm gonna just cancel July and work, even though of course I still want to do something for my birthday, but most of July I'll be working. So, yeah,
I'm with Miss Shirley. She wrote, your generation is already rewarding themselves. I get that for the most part. I get that. We always reward ourselves without doing anything. Like that's the whole participation trophy mindset, in my opinion. We will
mm,
go out and celebrate on the weekend, not necessarily Like I'm big on enjoying certain things, but attributing it or connecting it with something that I just accomplished. Like even with a
Mm-hmm.
birthday, what I tell you yesterday, like, man, forget your birthday. Like I was
Not
joking
that perfect.
around, but I'm kind of serious. Like a birthday, like I'd rather celebrate certain goals that I'm hitting. Everybody gets a birthday. Like, oh, you survived another year. Let's clap it up. That's just
I'm celebrating.
I'm not saying you
Yeah.
shouldn't do what you want to do. I'm just talking about my mindset. Like it's more so like, okay, boom, let's figure out how we can connect this with something that we just needed to achieve. It could be a big goal, small goal, whatever that may be. Bro, celebrate the goals. Don't just celebrate something that everybody celebrates once a year. But that's just my opinion. But I'm with Miss Shirley. Miss Shirley, we old school. You feel me? We old school. Kamari of that new age. That's why she just went, it's my birthday. It's my
It
birthday
is.
week.
It's true.
I
People
want to
don't
have
age.
this. I want to have that. And then what
People
most
don't
people end
age.
up doing, they end up going broke on their birthday,
No, we
doing
ain't
dumb
doing
stuff
that.
that they shouldn't be doing, can't afford, trying to show off, partying with people
No,
that don't give a damn about them.
that's not me.
And
That's
oh
not
no,
my
no,
birthday.
let's not
No, I feel you, but
personalize
I'm
it.
just saying, like,
You're
I'm
special,
a.
Kamari. We're not talking about you.
Nah, I'm
We would
just
never
saying.
be
No,
talking about you like that.
I'm just saying, in general, like I do think that you do have to party smart. Me and my homegirl, I think we was talking about that the other day. Like when people are, partying at the club in like the VIP section, and you want to pay $800 for a bottle, $800 for a bottle, and you can't afford it. Yeah, that's stupid. But do what you can within your means. But yeah, celebrate yourself. Shoot. If you get one day to be all
Did
about
you
you,
accomplish what you needed to accomplish for this year?
yeah, I think that's a
Where's your
part of
goal
it
list?
too. That's a part of it too. But I'm celebrating being alive this year. You feel me? So whatever.
Man, we
Happy birthday to
celebrate the
all the
most.
cancers.
Yeah, we look
Cancer
we
season.
find any reason to celebrate.
Well, do your thing.
We find any. I'm celebrating being alive. All right, we'll celebrate being alive by taking advantage of all these opportunities we got to
That
be
part
godly.
too.
You feel me?
That part too. Celebrate. But again,
Celebrate
shout out
yourself.
to cel-
Yo, man,
celebrate.
starting off early. I have a 70s,
Anyway,
80s. I have a 70s, 80s, and 90s daughters.
right. So you get it. Like different generations have a different mindset around different things. But
Celebrate
you should
yourself.
celebrate yourself. You should celebrate
No,
yourself.
no. Oh, Bez, do you mean celebrate yourself or celebrate by yourself? You saying?
No, he's saying celebrate yourself.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, celebrate yourself. Yeah.
You should,
Yeah. We the most self-celebrating people ever.
as we should be.
Self-celebrating and let the whole world know, hey world, today's my birthday. This is another solar return. Um, I'm looking forward to accomplishing the same thing that I did last year, which was nothing. I
Sound
didn't
like
hit
a
my goals. I didn't
hater.
hit this.
You sound like a hater on the birthday people, but it's okay. I just wanted to say shout out to all the cancers. It's cancer season. It's our birthday season. If you're a cancer, enjoy this season and live life to the fullest. That's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna
Nobody cares. It's your birthday.
yeah,
Not talking to you. I'm just talking to people in general. Nobody cares, bro. Let's be
he,
real.
talk,
Nobody cares.
he talking to me, y'all. I'm saying when
I'm not talking
Kamari's
to you. I care it's your birthday. So I'm not talking to you.
okay.
I care it's your birthday, but yo, nobody cares it's your birthday. Like people, you know what gives me, yo, do you like when people get upset when you don't hit them on their birthday?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Yo, I'm
there's
like, yo,
certain
how
people.
arrogant do you have to be to get upset that somebody didn't hit you on your birthday?
There's certain people. There's certain people that if they don't hit me
There
up, yeah,
go
I'm gonna
Best
feel
G.
like,
Best G.
oh God, why are you even
Jesus ain't
listening?
celebrate himself, but live your best life. So Jesus ain't celebrate himself, but here Kamari wants to celebrate her.
Jesus ain't got shit to do with me.
Oh,
My
oh,
birthday.
whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
but
whoa.
anyway.
It's getting a little. She cares. She taking his birthday thing seriously.
Oh, but no. Anyway, I think that do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to celebrate your birthday, celebrate your birthday. If you don't want to celebrate your birthday, you don't have to.
How do
But
you typically celebrate?
So I love like
Look at her. She thinking about how she should answer the question. Go
no, no,
ahead.
no. I'm really trying to think. I'm really trying to think. So last year I went to Malibu, and that was really nice. We had a picnic. I like stuff that like I like. So I'm gonna tell people. Usually, I plan my own birthday party too. So that might be a little narcissistic, I guess, or I don't know, like self-centered, whatever you want to say. But like, I don't like to walk into something and it's just not the cake I wanted or not the food I wanted or whatever. So like, don't
Yo. Yo.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let people know, and people usually know what I like because I talk about my birthday. But for me, I like something
People
small.
usually know.
Yeah, I like things that are small, intimate. You remember my birthday party? Like it's just my people. We're gonna have a good time, good music, good food, and we just chilling, and that's it. Like I don't need anything huge because I'm not that type of person. But it does need to be intentional and intimate. So intimate and intentional. This year, I want the just so y'all know, this chocolate cake from Trader Joe's. It's like $5. Swear to God, it's the best thing ever. Like that chocolate cake from Trader Joe's. That's all I need really this year.
This year we're
By
gonna
the
get you
late.
a nice chocolate man.
Mm.
That's what this. That's what
I
this year.
almost said something. I almost said something.
Yeah,
But
I
you
know,
know,
because our combo yesterday is about to trigger you.
yeah, I think a chocolate man will be nice too, with the cake.
Be
You know what I'm
nice
saying?
too, but a cake better.
Both, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I'll be in Florida. I'll be working, so I'll be fucking around at Disney World or some shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll be hot as hell.
Bez wrote, we live in one of the most narcissistic times, bro. That's a reason I can't be on social. Yo, this is matter of fact, yo, Kamari, we're gonna take this topic wherever you want to go with it. But this is something what Bez just wrote is something that really, really bothers me. Like
Okay.
I go on social media and literally everybody, like it's so narcissistic to the point where I don't know, like people are doing so much, especially like I guess I get more focused on with the women. And I'm like, yo, like you're just trying so hard to look sexy, to get attention. And it's like, yo, just relax. And you can tell that people are just addicted with the likes, just addicted with the comments, addicted with the DMs that may come to the point where it's just like, yo, everybody's looking extra awkward. And to me, it really looks corny as shit. Like when I see like some people post where it's like, yo, that you don't even look comfortable doing that. Like you just
Oh
see the
yeah, some
camera, so
people.
you feel like you gotta act. It's yo, I can't stand it, yo. I was literally saying yesterday, yo, I would just get off this. I don't know.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
it's one of those things. It's yes, it can be cringy. I will say that certain things can be very cringy when it comes to social media. And again, you tend to see the same things over and over. But what I'm learning now, as I'm getting older on social media, find your platform, find your people. Like you can alter everything to be how you want it to be. Now, again, things pop up. You know, they try to like get you to follow certain people. Like something will pop up, and I'm like, do I follow this? But then it'll come up like follow this person or follow this page. But again, like I've had to change my algorithm. So there's certain things that I just don't see anymore. There's certain people that I just don't follow anymore. And there's certain platforms that I don't really stay on as much anymore. But I think that also came with like a lot of age and a lot of wisdom and just a lot of, you know, figuring out like, okay, this shit is all the same, or it's the same thing every day, or it's the same people doing the same stuff every day. Again, I think with the whole sexy thing, I really think too, that's another thing where I feel like if people are, like you said, for the likes and stuff, if they getting the attention from it, then, you know, they're going to keep doing it. But also for you or for anybody else who doesn't like seeing it, alter your Instagram. Like you can do that. So I don't think if you find a reason as to why it works for you to be on there, then alter what you see. And then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you have to filter it out.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have
And
to
follow
filter
all
it out.
them hot girls and follow all them crunchy hot girls.
Not see, that's the thing. It's not. This is what I've been saying for years now. The same girls that you just categorized as all them hot girls, the corporate chicks looking the same on Instagram. The quote unquote hot girls look the exact same as the whatever you would call the other girls.
So here's a question then: if they're winning in life, does it matter
Who
what they
who's
post?
winning?
If you said the
Who's
corporate girls,
winning?
like if they're winning, like that's just a
Oh,
question.
hold
If
up. I
somebody's
don't.
winning in life,
Well,
like
first we got to define what winning is, if
right,
and
so
define who you're talking about.
right, so if there's a woman, right, so if she has a good job, good money, decent lifestyle, and she wants to show up on Instagram however she wants because she can, does that matter? Or a guy too, for
Yes,
that
it
matter.
matters.
No, I'm
Yes,
just
it
saying.
matters.
Okay, so yes, it matters to you. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you asking me, right? So I'm gonna tell
No, I
you
say
what it
yes.
if it
I'm
matters to
agreeing
me.
because I feel like sometimes now I could understand if like, okay, one, if you're not making money on social media and you're just doing all the sexy stuff and all this whatever, and you're just doing it because you want to, whatever. But then if you feel like, okay, you know what, I got a good life, I got money, I got family, I do all these things, and I just want to show up sexy on the gram, does it matter?
Yo, do we have no obligation?
It's just a yes or no.
And oh, I already told you yes. I thought I thought I told you yes
Oh,
30 seconds
okay.
ago when you first asked the question. Yes, it matters. And if we just like, do we not look at life that we have a responsibility to lead based on the people that we're influencing, like to have a certain just standard? So therefore, like it's like me saying, like, yo, my life is great. I could do this, I could do that. So therefore I can post whatever I want to post. Like, is that really what we're saying?
That's what I was saying. That's what I was asking.
Like, how can I go through like no, just because I get money and because I have like a certain type of I don't know, quote unquote success or winning as you define, I wouldn't go through life just saying like, oh, I made good money today, so therefore I could just post whatever I want. Like, nah, like don't you have an obligation to, yo, this is putting out a certain energy or representing a certain thing that may not be the positive image that I want to portray. Like, we don't think about that.
I think, well, I do because I'm a nanny. If I wasn't a nanny, if I didn't work with kids, I probably wouldn't care, to be honest. Like I think if I wasn't a nanny, I wouldn't care because sometimes like I'll think about posting things in my stories and now that some of the kids that I worked with are getting older now, so they have like social media or whatever. So I still think like if Miss Kamari is twerking and smoking a joint on her story, I don't want them to see that. I mean, now they have close friends and things like that, but there's some stuff that I'll occasionally post and I'm like, oh shit. And then I see like, one of the kids looked at it and I'm like, all right, let me look at that.
But why, even if the kids weren't looking at it, why would you want to post you twerking smoking?
Well, I'm not, I use that as an example, but again, I think I
But that's
don't.
what I'm saying. Like the kids are now, I'm glad the kids are following you because it sounds like they're establishing a certain level of accountability for you.
It does
Because,
do that. It does do that for me. And it does do that specifically for me because of the job I'm in. But again, I also feel like I'm one of those people like, do you? Like, I really am one of those people like, do you? Whatever. And I do think that if social media, I look at it too as like a journal. So again, if you followed me or anybody for that matter, from like 2000 and we'll say 5 to now when Facebook first started, 2005 to now, you can see the growth, you can see the changes. And I actually like doing that. Looking at that. So I don't really find it anything to be like, I feel like you should post whatever you want as long as it's not too crazy. Like, I feel like there's levels to it.
social
Like, I don't
media,
know.
if you
Like,
use
I'm
social
not one of
media
those
as a
people that are like,
journal,
don't post
that's potential.
yourself in a bikini. Don't post yourself having fun, turning up. Like, I'm not that person. I think that you should. But again, I also think there's some stuff that I'm like, that's a little bit much. But again, there's a scale for everybody. So whatever.
If you
But I don't
look at
look at
social
myself
media as a
as no
journal, like to me, that's like the opposite of what a journal is intended to be. Like a journal is supposed to be a relationship between you and you, something that you can, hold close to heart, that you can evaluate every day, put your thoughts down, all these different things. Why would you want to be that transparent with randoms on social media?
Well, one, I think it depends. What is your purpose of showing up? Some people have social media to stay in connection with people. Some people have, so like for me, I feel like I've lived so many different lives on social media. So like there's times where it's like I was very like super conservative and very Christian. And then I was just like, oh, I don't really believe in that anymore. And so then I started posting a little more like freely. So I think it just really shows like who I've been for the past 10 years. Now, me, I am one of those transparent, like type of sharers or social media people because that's just how I like to show up. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think, again, your goal is to maybe be an example or to lead other people into some type of way of thinking or being, then yeah, you do have to hold yourself accountable and you may not be able to post certain things. But if that's not your goal, if you're not trying to be somebody's role model or example, leading by example, then do what you want to do. That's just my opinion.
Shouldn't that be everybody's, like, shouldn't that be something that everybody embraces because we're all influencing different people, whether it's on a level of, you know, you could be super influential like an entertainer, celebrity, or you could just be influential within your family and your friends. Like, shouldn't everybody hold themselves to a certain standard?
They could if they want to. I don't think that necessary because I don't. Sometimes I'm like, don't look at me. But also, I feel like too, if you want to say, hey, like, because some people can come back and say, you know what, I stopped posting certain types of things. I felt like that wasn't who I am in this season. I felt like that wasn't the right representation. I think it's all about what your personal desire is. I don't necessarily think that everybody has to be a role model. There's times where I'm like, I'm not a role model. I don't want to be a role model in this season. But again, because of the profession I'm in, it's just I'm naturally, I am naturally sometimes. There are times where I'm like, don't look at me.
We just see it a little differently. I think that everybody, like, if you have a winning team, everybody embraces being a role model in that particular role. So, like, first off, just speaking specifically, and I hate doing this because it makes it seem like whatever. Just speaking specifically to Black people, when you have a team that is losing and everybody just feels that, oh, I ain't trying to be no role model. What it does is just to take an accountability off of yourself to move in a way that you would have to force yourself to behave in a certain way that helps us elevate. So when you have a team that's losing and nobody wants to embrace being a role model, that's just another way of saying, like, I mean, yeah, we losing, but it is what it is. I ain't got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're taking responsibility off of yourself. Just how I see it.
Yeah. I think we just see it differently because again, I feel like also it's just really about I don't know. I'm all about do you like I'm really one of those people like
What
do
you know?
you
Like,
because
that's the craziest thing to say.
I'm
That's like telling. So that's like me talking to let's say I go into a high school football team. This high school football team loses every single game. They've been losing for years, and I go and tell them like, "Yo, just do you." Just keep doing you.
No, you can't do
No,
that.
what you is right now is a loser. So therefore, you need to change you. Stop doing what you used to be and create a new you.
But that's what I'm saying. On social media, you can see people fluctuate. People have things where it's like, hey, in my 20s, I was posting this. In my 30s, I was posting. Like, I think there are some people who just straight across the board post bullshit all their lives. But again, there's so many different people who have elevated. I think because we've been on social media for so long, you get to see the different things fluctuate. Now, some people are going to say, yeah, this is how we've elevated. I've elevated on social media, so I can attest to that. But then there's also some people who have just stayed the same. Now, again, when I say do you as an adult, show up how you definitely desire to show up because it's your social media, it's your platform. Now, again, I don't think that if you're spewing, drugs and doing the wrong things, yes, that's wrong. That's just like you shouldn't advertise that, but people do it anyway. Again, but when it comes to if you want to wear a bikini or you're out, like you went to vacation for a week, I don't think there's anything wrong with that kind of posting. Do you do what you want to do and that type of stuff. But when it comes to purposely trying to be an example, I don't think that everybody has to hold themselves to that. But again, that's where we disagree. Good morning, Scooby. That's a new name. Good morning.
Well, Miss Shirley said you're a role model whether you know it or not. And I think that's the case with anybody. And especially if you're, I'm just going to speak to the men out here. If you embrace this mindset that I don't want to be a role model or that I'm not a role model, to me, that's like just a part of being a man. I wouldn't even want to be around a man that didn't hold himself accountable to embracing some type of model position to where it's like they understand that I have an impact on whoever I'm around, and I understand that, I embrace that, and I want to make a positive impact, because then I'm creating a standard. If you don't have a standard because you're like, I ain't no role model anyway, then to me that's not what being a man is. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And Bez wrote something that actually is funny the way it sounds. Nah, do you post them drugs? But it's the same thing, because who's to say that posting the drugs is worse than posting super revealing clothes? Like who's like, what makes one bad and one not bad? Just the like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what makes one bad according to you and the other not bad?
Right. So I guess my question would be to everybody in the chat, because we're obviously all on social media, or some of us are taking a break or not on it. Has your social media, has your timeline changed in the past 10 years? Like, has the things that you posted in the past 10 years, has it changed, or has it just been kind of like the same? That's the first question. And then the second question I would ask is, do you feel as though how you show up on social media matters? That's the question.
The fact
that that's the question to the chat, not you.
No. I get you. Can I?
Okay.
Am I allowed to answer?
Oh, I thought you were saying
just
no.
for the chat. Huh?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The fact that you would even have to ask that second question of does it matter how you show up on social media is insane to me, because you are held accountable for all of your actions. Anything that I do, like, I can't sit here and say, oh no, don't judge me for this one. Oh, yo, I'm just about to go out here and wild tonight. Don't judge me for this one. Like, how does that even make any sense? Your social media is one of your biggest marketing tools. That's your resume. So that's like going to a job and saying, hey, here's my resume, but don't judge me for anything on it. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, that was just a question. You answered it. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things where I think, in terms of the employer thing, I definitely think now, yes, you can say that, because different jobs do look at social media now. That does matter. But I also feel like, I don't know, I guess because the profession I'm in, I do have to be careful about the things that I post. And there's certain things that I definitely have to make sure that I put in, in my, secret stories or whatever they call it. They say I'm a walking hypocrite. I can't let my daughter see my social. Hey.
Yo.
Listen.
Is Scooby, that's a woman or, oh, that's Scoob?
I don't know who that is.
Hold on.
I don't know.
What do you identify as? He, him, her? Nah. All joking aside, though, I want to know, because I want to know if it's coming from a male perspective or a female perspective. So, okay. Scoob, you got to let us know.
They say yeah, but I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Bez wrote, oh, that's my dog, Scoob. I knew it was Scoob. Ah! My brother. You are. Yeah.
Who is that? I don't know.
School. That's School.
Oh, okay.
I ain't throwing out no governments.
Right. Okay. Yes, it's changed.
Yo,
wait, what is it?
Yo, he bringing up a great point. But watch this. As my brother, School, I have to now challenge you to try to align the two. I have to. I wouldn't be your brother if I didn't tell you that. Like, I understand we all gonna be certain areas where it's like, yo, I gotta tell, the people that are following me this, but I'm still working on this particular area. I gotta tell people, hey, chill out watching all that porn, but I know, I gotta, work on that on myself too. But at the same time, we gotta work to the point where the same things that, we're preaching and that we want the younger generations to embrace, that we're getting closer and closer to walking that same path to the point where the end goal has to be, I'm actually living the same way that I'm preaching. So that's the only thing that I say.
Thank God for
bad. Yeah, my dog really on it.
That's what close friends are for, so that's good.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that there's close friends you can monitor. So I mean, again,
Yeah.
just utilize that. Utilize your close friends. Whatever. But
Scooby Lyman, Frankie Lyman. Yo, now I'm really over here. Yo, it's funny. So Ski just sent me the yearbook picture, and in the yearbook, I'm shouting out all the homies. And Scoob, I got to show you that. But yeah, getting back to it, Miss Shirley. Sometimes you have to walk away from the follow the leader syndrome. 100%, 100%. Yeah, we gotta figure out new standards for ourselves. And this goes back to that question when we were even talking about like the whole religion versus spirituality thing. Like I put up a post about it, and like my take on it was just on the last show that spirituality is simply religion with no accountability. And I'm somebody who, I've always identified as spiritual. Don't really particularly didn't really like the whole religion aspect of it with my experience, especially with a lot of the leaders in the church and just different people that embrace Christianity. So that was just my own personal experience. But when people say like, oh, well, you have to have this religion, when I'm having that conversation, most people are automatically assuming that you have to choose one of the currently constructed religions. Create your own religion. Create a religion within your household. That's something that I believe everybody should do. Yeah, you can be Muslim, you could be Christian, you could be Jewish, but there should be your own denomination. Is that the right word? Like your own sect, to the point where this is the religion in our household. You know, these are the standards. These are our commandments. These are our guides. These are our rules. All these different things. There should be one that's embraced within the household. And when you write down those things and have those principles, you literally will grow up teaching your kids based on the rules that were set based on the family. And the kids can get involved in that and have a better understanding and a more of a purpose around it, rather than it just being this book that's how many years old. You get what I'm saying? So even though you have the religion, there should be one that's within your household. So whether or not you embrace one of the popular religions or not, you will still have a religion that can be followed, that creates structure for you and your family.
Yeah, no, I think, we talked about that a little bit last night. I do think that you have to come up with your own set of rules in your household, because there's a certain standard that you want your kids to upkeep in yourself. And so I think that, you could say in this house, every Friday is game night. We come together, or every Saturday we clean the house together, listening to show tunes or whatever, whatever works for your household, do it. Because I think that, again, it sets you apart. Two, it really helps your kids understand the foundational things, because I think that when you grow up in like a religion or a church, there's always going to be kickback, or there's always going to be like, well, why do we have to do things this way? Like for me, when we went to one of my homegirls' church when we were younger, all the girls had to wear skirts and wear something on their head. Why? I never understood that. You know what I'm saying? Like the men didn't have to wear anything on their heads or whatever. It was just this whole thing. Like we always had to wear a skirt. You always had to wear something on your head. And I just didn't understand what the reason for that was. Now, the guy, I'm sure I asked, because I'm one of them people, like, I'm always going to ask a question. And I feel like his reasoning wasn't good enough for me. It was just like, I mean, I guess, whatever. And so I think that sometimes you're always going to find a flaw within religions. But when you create your own rules for your household, you can kind of teach it better from a standpoint. Because I think a lot of times you see in religion, people are just doing that, follow the leader. Well, this is the way we've been doing it here at this church for 100 years, or because the Bible says so. And there's no real actual foundational reason or that makes sense to why you have to do certain things. So if you come up with your own rules, then you have a better explanation as to why, maybe like a little obviously show and tell reason as to why, like, no, we clean up the house together as a family on Saturday, because I want, when you grow up and have your own house, I want you to know how to clean a stove correctly. I want you to learn how to do certain things, or I want you to learn how to, my grandmother used to like to garden all the time. Like, so if I sat outside with her every Sunday, it was like, because now I can learn how to do this for when I have my own garden. So it's just one of those things where, like, I think it is beneficial for you to come up with your own rules, your own set of foundational principles for your home, because you can explain them to your kids better, to me.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm big on, because when we take it upon ourselves to set the standards, to set the rules. It forces us to think about what makes sense exactly for us. It puts the onus on us rather than just relying on something that may not directly apply to us as much, to where
Right.
now we're trying to interpret something that we think applies to this particular situation, but it may or may not. So I think that just establishes a very clear understanding of, this is our family, these are our guys, these are our foundational principles, morals, standards, all of the above, and this is how we're moving forward. And this is something that can be changed. This is something that we hope that y'all add on to, and then the kids can embrace it, because now they're creating certain rules for themselves. So when you create it for yourself, it allows you to embrace it. And to me, that's going to give you more of a chance or more of a likelihood to actually follow through and abide by it.
Right. Yeah.
Bez wrote, the Bible is God's word,
He's
so
so
no need to question it.
He's
Every
so
single book, every single word that has ever been written in every single book is God's word.
question everything.
Every single word, if I type something right now, that's considered God's word. If we come from God, then everything, that's the same way that they say that the Bible and every single book was inspired by God. We all come from God. So anything that we do is inspired by God. So therefore, I'm still questioning it. That's the point. I'll
Yeah, I was
question
gonna say
anything.
question everything. Like
I'll
if something
question
doesn't,
everything.
yeah, if it doesn't sit right with you or it doesn't make sense to you, don't just sit there and take it.
But you're
Like,
supposed to question it. And that's the
yeah,
thing. Like we look at questioning. I feel like in the space that we live in now, we don't question things, or our definition of questioning is off. Like, you're supposed to question things. Like, questioning something, if you want to believe in something stronger, then question it. Do your research. And then once you question it, it's going to lead you to a path where you may say, like, yo, I questioned it. I asked every single thing, researched it, and it stayed true. It was solid. So therefore, it's going to make you believe in it more. Now, if you look at it, questioning it, and you see something where it's like, that's a little shaky there, then that'll give you a better understanding. And maybe you'll have to kind of look into it a little bit more to find exactly what's missing in that, like why there's no connection there.
yeah.
So I don't believe in anybody that tells me to not question anything. I'm going the other way.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
big
going the other way.
on, and I know I don't. Again, this is all everybody's own thoughts on God or who you pray to, whatever. I have a big prayer life, right? I really am. I firmly believe pray about it. Like if there's certain things that you want clarity on, I don't care if you say God, Spirit, whoever you speak to, or whoever you feel like you have a connection to. Help me understand. Like I'll say like. I need clarity in this situation. Like God, help me understand this. And like I promise you, it really happens for me. But I also feel like too, there was this one time where my neighbor, he was really like the doorman or whatever at this building I used to live in, and he did not believe in God at all. And he was just like, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in anything. But the only reason why he didn't believe was because the people that taught him were just evil people. Like, you know what I mean? I think his aunt or whoever he said he was raised, he was like, they were just so horrible to him that it just forced him not to have any relationship with God or any religion or anything like that. And so, my only answer to him was, you got to do your own research. You got to do your own, like, soul searching for God or whatever you want to, because you could tell that he was like, I don't have a problem believing in God, but the way that I was raised or the way that I was brought up is what caused the disconnection, or what caused me for just saying like F religion, F God altogether. And so again, like you said, you have to do your own research. If you want to believe in something, or if you want to say, hey, some of this was right, but the people that were giving it to me, because sometimes that's a lot of the problem too. We're not going to the actual source. So we're not actually reading the Bible. We're just sitting in front of somebody and they're telling us their interpretation of some verse, or they're telling us some interpretation to sometimes manipulate us in one direction. If you've ever been to a church and they about to preach before they ask for some money, the sermons get a little different. And you can kind of tell like, oh, they finna ask us for some money. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, you have to kind of do your own search if that's something that you want to believe it or not believe it. And I think for him, I mean, it'd be dope to kind of like talk to him about that now, but he totally was discouraged based off of somebody else's interpretation of who God was or what religion was. And so again, you do have to question things. If it don't seem right, question it, do the research. And I think we live in that age where now we don't do the research. We do clips. Like how we were talking about, like, oh, I need more than a clip. I need more than a clip, because sometimes 30 seconds, 45 seconds is not the whole thing. And then you totally misunderstand what was really happening.
Yeah, but that's that whole, and I know you didn't mean it like that. That's that whole do you mindset, in my opinion. When you're on Instagram right now, or you see a clip of somebody, you're only seeing it through the lens that you want to see it through. So you're only looking at something to justify and rationalize how you already feel, which is why certain people get triggered and turned off by certain things. And that's why, mainstream media puts out certain things a certain type of way, because they know what we're gonna grab, what's we're not gonna grab. They're very intentional with it. So even when we talk about questioning certain things, we don't question our own actions. We don't question other things. We don't question anything that takes us outside of our comfort zone, because all we want to do is stay in our comfort zone. And questioning is going to require work. It's going to require research. It's going to require you hearing things and being open to hearing things that may not align with how you currently think. So people don't necessarily want to do that. And it's funny, everything that you're describing should be a rule in religion. And I would respect religion a lot more if it was a rule to where you have to have a certain amount of study and research that you do on that particular religion before you can call yourself a Christian, before you can call yourself a Muslim, before you can call yourself a Jew. All these different things, you should have to go through a process. And even with the Baha'i faith, I always talk about that. That's probably the newest religions or faiths, and they have something called independent investigation. It's called independent investigation of truth. And that independent investigation of truth is exactly this. You get to a certain age where you're 13, 14, 15, and it is on you to investigate that truth. It's not on you to listen to some type of clergy. They don't have clergy. So it puts the onus and responsibility on the individual rather than being able to just take in the word of somebody else. I would respect religions that have that process a lot more than the follow the leader religions that I see that we have now.
Now, sorry. I wanted to say to that, they do.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say to that point. So they do in some cases. So but I disagree with this, because I think, when they allow children to get baptized at a young age, I'm like, I don't really agree with that. I got baptized at a really young age, and I did it again as an adult. But they have these courses, right? So before you decide to, and I don't know if all churches do this, but if you say, okay, at the end of church, they have the altar call. And they're like, okay, if you want to give your life to Christ, come on down or whatever like that. And people come down, and then they usually have these courses to say hey, this is what you just did. This is what that means. If you want to get baptized, here are some classes so you can understand what you're about to do. So they do have them. Again, I think it needs to be a more in-depth understanding, because I think that, again, sometimes people just do it to do it, but they do have some courses that do teach you about what you're doing before you do it.
It's commercials. The same reason why I have an issue with pharmaceutical companies being able to advertise on TV, which is in most countries you can't. And then we have an opioid crisis. That's a whole nother conversation. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I'm not with. So this is my issue. I get that if you are a part of a religion, you want to invite others to embrace and learn about your particular religion and your culture. But when it comes to the church is a business. The more people that walk in those doors, the more money they make. So therefore, their objective is to just increase their business. They're sales reps. That's it. They are sales reps that are trying to. That's why when you're sitting in church,
I want you to break that part down. What do you mean when you say when they come in, they get more money?
Every single person there, if you have very simple, if you have 10 people at your church, right? Mm-hmm. And when they're going through that same spiel that you said, where they're getting ready to ask for money, do you think that church is more likely to get more money with 10 people in that church? Or do you think they're more likely to get money at a church like Mike Todd, and the mega churches? Which
Yeah,
church you
no,
think
I
is getting more
definitely,
money?
okay, yeah.
Do you think that they're going to get TV deals? Do you think they're going to get these streaming deals? They're making money off of YouTube channels, monetizing all this stuff now. So therefore, it's all about numbers for them. They are simply just sales reps. I'll give you an example. My old mentor, he did a sales training course for a Catholic group down here in Florida. He did a sales rep. He told me and showed me like the records that they keep as far as the money that they take in. They know how much each person sent in this week, the last week. They have records of all this. They know exactly which envelopes they know where. Okay, let's compare. Okay, the people in the front, they gave more money compared to people in the back. So if we can get people to just move up, like they are so tuned in when it comes to the business aspect of it. We don't even realize that we're getting marketed and manipulated by all this. So therefore, all they care about is their numbers. So when you have a particular religion that is incentivized by money to increase their following, to me, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. I'm not with all these mega churches. I think they're terrible. I think people are goofy for embracing these type of things. Whether it's Joel Osteen, Mike Todd, or all these others, I think it's just sets a terrible precedent. And just it to me, it destroys the integrity of religion. It destroys the integrity of religion and then just focuses on the business aspect.
Okay. He's so annoying.
What? Why?
Keep going. He's
Congrats, Kamari. You are going to heaven. Hold on. All right. Let me back up and read some of the comments. All right. So we start off. We missed this one. I just had a conversation explaining the saying, "Cut off your nose to spite your face." Old heads used to say that often when I was growing up, without explaining what it means. Yeah, that's a good one. Old folks. That's a good one, Miss Shirley. That's one that we should dive into, because even though, like, I think I understand what it means, I'm probably sure that, all of us may have different, definitions of that. But I think that that's what we do a lot. Cut off our nose to spite our face. If that's the right way to say it. I think I said what you wrote. Bez wrote, the Bible is God's word, so no need to. We already went over that. Bez wrote, to me, there is no such thing as God's word. LOL. God says if you don't believe in Jesus, you go to hell. God's word says if you eat pork, you're a sinner. Why would God create me, then ask for forgiveness? See, but you're just looking at a particular word of God. Like, everything is God's word. If you believe that we come from God. If you don't believe that we come from God, then I don't know. But if you consider the Bible God's word, then in my opinion, you have to consider all the other books God's word. So when you say God says if you don't believe in Jesus, you go to hell. No, that's what people are saying about the Christian God. That's just what people are saying. And it's still God's word, but shoot, that don't mean you got to. That's why I said I question everything.
I need to go look at that, because I'm like, is that really what it says? But again,
that's a fact. If you don't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, then that was one of the biggest issues that I had with church. To hear you can have somebody who's a rapist, a killer, does terrible things, lived a terrible life, but let's say by the time they turn 60, 65, they now accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. They get baptized. They go through this whole process. That person can go to quote unquote heaven. But then you have another person who either believes in a different religion or maybe doesn't believe in a religion, maybe just quote unquote spiritual or whatever, and is just a great person, helps people, their entire lives, just a good, solid human being. They technically would not go to heaven. That to me just doesn't make any sense. And that's what Bez was talking about a few weeks ago when he was talking about send me to hell, because if you look at who's going to heaven, it's all the killers, the people, it's the same bad people on both. So it's like, send me away from those people. And Bez, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I would have to do some more research too, because I want to. I mean, I know that's
more research on which part.
No, let me finish. No, I said.
A question, bro. Relax.
No, I'm reading something right now about who goes to hell in like different verses, because like there's scripture on it, but I'll come back to that. But
But
I
this
wanted
is,
to
but this,
say,
yeah, that's a. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I'll come back to that. But what I want, when Jarrell has said, I'm looking at it from my other phone, when it says like, what is truth, right? So me and Dominique, we were talking about this the other day, like, even if we didn't believe in a God, right? What, how? Like, how
Oh,
do
say it
we,
again. Say it again. I didn't hear
like,
you.
even if you don't believe in God or if you don't believe in Jesus or all those different things that people, like, how did everything start? Like, even with science, like, how did, like, how? Just like how, when we were talking about the aliens and they are existing or other people on other planets, like, how did all of this happen? Like, there had to be something to drop the first person. There had to be something to drop the first tree or drop that first seed. Like, what was it? Like, because that's the part. Like, how do you even figure out the truth? And I feel like sometimes people just go nuts. Like, just stuff just happened. Like, things just popped up. Like, how did that happen? Did we really evolve from a monkey? Then how did the monkey get here? Like, I don't know.
But that's what religion has been, and it's like that. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? You either got to say who cares, you got to accept the fact that we may not be able to prove and find a why. You know what I'm saying?
So
You
then
just
does
may not
that,
be able to feel like it because they weaponize that. They weaponize limited knowledge. Everybody, a lot of people, whether it's political parties, religious leaders, whoever else, they weaponize people's ignorance. So, and I don't mean ignorance in a negative standpoint. I mean just not knowing, not being aware of something. So how they weaponize your ignorance is to say, to make you feel better, we want to know something. We're all uncomfortable if we're like, damn, we're going through life. I don't know what happens when I die. Like, damn, I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens. And then you have something that can come. Oh, this is where you come from, and this is what happens when you leave. Oh, great. Okay, I can get with this. This makes me comfortable.
right, right. Yeah, I just feel like you people go crazy looking for the truth, but then also again, it's like then that makes you just not want to get into religions because you're like, listen, if nobody has the answer to how things really started, then why are we even like?
Well, who cares?
But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I care because I care to know. I'm like, what? Oh, he
Hold
said
up,
he's
hold.
trying to
Time out, time out, time out, time out, time. I got it. If you cared, why have you never ever researched it?
right. That's why I say,
So
you know
that's
what?
what I'm saying. You don't care.
I don't care enough. Right. He said he can't.
Right. You
He said the
30, you
link's not
35
working.
years old.
He
Think
said the
about
link.
this. Think about this. You've been super into religion before, right? There's been times where you the one leading the Bible study group, joining up these groups that are like super duper Christians, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And just when we bring up a concept as far as who gets into hell and who doesn't get into hell, you weren't necessarily comfortable discussing that because a lot of us aren't aware of it. And that just goes back to that independent study where how can we subscribe to a particular religion? One of the biggest sellers of the religion is, hey, yo, we could tell y'all what happens. You get with us and you get heaven. You know what I'm saying? When you die, you get with us. And
Right. I think.
we've never even looked at it. We never
No,
even
here's
looked
the
it up.
thing though. No, I will say, if you don't use it, you lose it. Like that's one of the things. Like again, when I was in it, we were doing the research and we were doing the study and we were doing the writing and the reading. And now it's like, well, all that just went over my head because I stopped. But I don't know. Did you get my message? Because he said the
Yeah,
link.
you said Bez said the link isn't working.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna text it to you. We getting Baz up here
I
on the
told him he
live.
better have something to say, trying to pop on at 8 o'clock on purpose. Well, 9 o'clock for y'all, 9 o'clock. I said he did that on purpose.
Let me see. He may have to. I don't know what we did last time to get him on there, but he may have to either
Let's
log on
see.
from the text that I just sent, or you can jump on. Damn, isn't that the way that we did it before?
I'm about to show. Oh, you can share your screen on here. We need to learn to play with. Again, this might be like a little
What you
course,
mean? I'll be sharing my screen. How you think I'll be playing the videos?
right? What do y'all think while we trying to figure out how to get Jarrell on here? What do y'all think about this submarine stuff? I wanted to talk about that with some other people.
Yeah. No, we gonna
I'm
get into
really just
everything that
like,
we gonna get into all that. The
because I'm
submarine
really
stuff.
like,
Kamari, put us on because I have no idea what even happened. I feel like you know more about it than me.
I barely.
Barely. Barely.
Right. Nah, I just was okay. So it was the submarine that seemed like it was a makeshift. I did watch the video on the guy giving a tour of hold on, I gotta drink some water. about what was it? Give it a tour of the submarine or whatever, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is like a Nintendo controller. This we just found from like some shop or whatever." They said like it was like a makeshift type thing, and they supposedly charged people $250,000 to get in and go to this experience to see the Titanic ship or whatever. All the people that went on were supposedly billionaires. Again, I don't know what their purpose. I mean, obviously their purpose was to go see the Titanic, but the thing looks so small that even in the video when they were showing the guys like getting in there just to look at it, it was kind of like, what the hell? Like, I don't even think anybody, 5 people could actually really comfortably fit in there, let alone, you know, comfortably, but whatever. So they went into this thing, and I guess it went down, and there was a certain amount of hours of oxygen, and they had to get there, I guess, and come back before a certain amount of time before the oxygen ran out. And then that's what everybody was like kind of waiting for, like, oh no, they're not back. There was 10 hours left or whatever. And then it seemed like America was just like, yeah, it's a dub. We gave it at the time. We looked like these people are lost. We're declaring them dead now.
We couldn't find your pet dog. Like,
but in my mind, as a billionaire,
crazy.
right? There's 5 billionaires. You don't think that nobody was going to use their money and their own resources to figure out
like, yo, bring the
build another one.
Biden, send the Coast Guard, whoever. You need to find my people.
Yeah, so that was one thing.
Biden like taking bribes anyway, so we could have just threw Biden some money. Okay. He would have done it.
Well, he making this into something. I'm like, I don't know. But I think also too, again, if you got this much money, why are you playing around with your life like that? I would never.
They bored, man. They bored.
And then there was like a young boy on there, and I'm like, now what mother would really be like, oh yes, like I would have been like, nah. And then the other thing is too, is there, and I posted this on, I think it was the Shade Room or one of them blogs or whatever. Where's the footage of them like going into it? Nobody was like, hey, this is Joey. He's gearing up to go into the submarine. Here's whatever. Like, there's no footage of them actually like preparing for this, them actually getting in it, because I would assume that the point of once they were to go down and come back up was to maybe document this or make it into a documentary or something or of some kind, because I'm like, why else would you, like, everybody just went in here, no cameras, or here we are, or I'm going live, like we're in the submarine. Like there was none of that. So I'm waiting for those type of videos so that I can believe it, because low-key I feel like I don't believe it.
What mother would allow? That's what you said. I can't even front. When I heard you say that, what mother would allow their kid to go? Mm-hmm. What mother would allow their kids to do a lot of the dumb shit that we allow our kids to do?
I'm just saying. I'm talking about
the music that we listening to eat the food that we eating, to do all this type of stuff. You feel me? But I know that's not where you were trying to go with it. So
right,
we're gonna pivot and make sure that we read Miss Shirley's.
Praise God.
Miss Shirley got kicked out of church. I got kicked out of church, Pentecostal, because I would not confess that Jesus was my Lord and personal Savior. Pastor had to apologize for embarrassing me.
Yeah, like I don't think anybody should be forced to do anything. I don't give a damn.
That's a gang. It's a gang.
Pentecostal is deep though. That's a whole nother level of Christian.
I don't even know what that is.
Man, Google it.
Yo, I'm so glad. So much of me is so glad that I grew up with my dad not messing with church. Like I told you before, my dad's considers himself Christian, but he, from as long as I can remember, he ain't bang with the church. And let it be very clear, I've never seen, my dad has never gone to church. Like, he don't like these type of churches. He don't like the pastors. He don't like none of it. But he has his relationship, with God. Prays every day. He makes sure that he's disciplined with that. But it just always gave me, because my grandparents, both sides, were very much into the church.
Right.
My mom was never really into it like that. So I'm glad that I grew up with that, because it allowed me to, instead of getting indoctrinated as I would have been as much, like if my pops was like, yo, church is great, listen to your pastor, I would have done exactly that. You know what I'm saying? I would have been maybe too deep into it. If my dad told me?
I feel like your personality, even if you went, like I feel like you went. You don't feel like you would have questioned even if you were there.
If my pops told me
Okay.
like I was very much the type, yo, now my brother and I are totally different. Like if my parents told my brother something, then or if my brother just heard something from like an authoritative figure or whatever, he gonna question it. He gonna be
Yeah, I'm a
like,
little
huh,
bit
what?
like that too.
Huh?
I said I'm a little bit like that
Yeah,
too.
me, I was like, I was so scared of disappointing my parents. Like whatever they told me, I was doing. Like that was always me. So and a lot of that was just looking at just like, damn, well, mom and dad said do this, just did that. I think I'm gonna do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my big brother Justin,
Yeah.
my lifetime stove toucher. I always say that. Just was the one that was gonna touch the stove every time for me.
I think it's an older
Just mom and
sibling
dad
thing.
said, don't touch the stove, it's hot. Nah, don't worry about it. I'll try it. That was always him. So I just let him embrace that, and I was on the other side. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I think it's an older sibling thing too, because like I always got in trouble too.
Yeah. Dom said they lost communication less than an hour in. Also, there's some things that need to be left alone, especially if you're not going to put the money into it to make it as successful as
Yeah, how
possible.
are all of y'all billionaires and y'all going on this makeshift thing all the way? If you lost service an hour, turn this back, bring me
Yo,
back.
they think they're invincible, though. People think they're invincible.
Hell no, bring
Like,
me back.
yo, the more I feel like the more money you make, you feel like you're invincible. There's a lot of stuff that people and even I don't know, when you're around people, you're comfortable. One person says we good, who knows? I question that every day.
All right, yeah, I'm
Like
about to say,
literally
I ain't
almost
never been
I think about the Kobe situation a lot. Like it bothers me. I always see certain things that remind me of it, and it just doesn't make sense. And they said, like with Kobe, at least the information I got, it was a cloudy day in which they probably like if it wasn't a private pilot, then they wouldn't have gone up. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just too cloudy to kind of find your way or whatever.
Yeah.
But what happens? You get somebody, nah, we good. Like, and everybody else kind of like, all right, let's go with it. And then it goes left when it's like, when we're looking at it like, yo, why would they even do that? Like, you could have just been an hour late to practice and drove, you know what I'm saying? But in the moment, it just could be different. Dom wrote, also in relation to church, I love God, but at a young age, I went up for prayer and felt pressure to say I was healed after I first said I wasn't. LOL, just so I could sit back down. Yo, church is goofy, yo. I don't care what anybody say. The majority of churches that I've been in, I've walked out of funerals. I've walked out of funerals before just because I'm like, yo, this is goofy. This is goofy as hell, and I'm not going to be a part of it. Like, to where it's a funeral, the pastor don't even know the person that died. You know what I'm saying? Barely know the family. Up here talking about all this stuff about the person. Well, I sat down, with Brian's parents yesterday, and based on the stories that I was told, Brian was an interesting person. He was an honorable person. You don't even know Brian. And then in the middle of you talking about Brian, you asking people to come up on stage. You asking people to come up on stage and to get saved. What this got to do with, like, bro, wrong place? Like, this is not the time for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like, I just get so turned off by the churches, yo. I get so turned off by the churches and pastors. Bez G, what's the deal?
I'm trying to help him right now. So can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
he's in it. We good. Oh, you just put your video on, Bez.
Oh, where it says hide and stream, press show on stream.
He's already on the stream.
Oh, he is. Then why he? Okay. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Just activate your video.
Okay, there we go. Where it says show on stream. But no, I was gonna say I remember one time. Well, no, not one time, but like I used to go to this church. It was like a Kojic church, and it was like really small. And it was my grandmother's church, and they used to have you walk up for prayer, and then as you would pray, they would like push you down, and some people would just like fall out, and then they put like the white blanket over you. And we used to just as kids just go up and do that to just like laugh and have fun, like, oh, they're gonna push us and see if we just fall down or not. And like it's all like that type of stuff. Even back then, like we didn't question it, but we knew it was like a bunch of stuff because it was just like you definitely pushed me down. Now there were some people who looked like they just fell out because of being in the spirit or whatever you want to call it. But we used to go up as kids to be like, "Yo, you about to see if you fall down or whatever." But he would actually like push us down, and we would just laugh and shit.
Churches, yo, I would respect. Like, there's certain. You know what I wanted to touch on, like to kind of get away from, to try to get away from, and hold on, before, I think Mia is referring to the white blanket always scared. Wait, what's that?
Yeah, what I was saying, like they would have like when you would fall out, they would put like a
Yeah.
white blanket over you to kind of
Oh,
just.
okay. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. But what we were talking about earlier, and this is kind of going back, and y'all let me know if I'm going back too far. But in the convo earlier, we were talking about how when the conversation was about, what were we talking about? It was, you can take your 20s to post whatever you want to post on your Instagram, and your 30s, and it could just follow your journey. Whether you're super positive or whatever, just put whatever out, right? Is that kind of what we were saying?
Say it again.
Like, as far as now, I know you're getting Bez right, but just as far as, matter of fact, I ain't even gonna go that route. I'm not even gonna go that route. I'm gonna stay here. My fault. My bad, good people. My bad, good people. Sometimes I like going off on tangents. I got to check myself. Miss Shirley wrote, I always was the one with the why question. We were the famous Baptist religion family legacy prior to converting. Yeah, you got to ask that why. You got to ask that why. Okay, Kamari, I experienced that and continue to lay on the floor because I was tired from partying all night.
Wait, who said that?
Miss Shirley was out in these streets. I knew Miss Shirley was out here.
No, that is hilarious.
I know it. Baz ain't getting on.
No, he's trying to get it together. He was on. I think he just didn't know how to. I'm trying to send him the.
Nah, you know what? Forget that. I'm going back on my tangent because while you trying to figure it out. All right, so this is back to the social media and why we all need to embrace ourselves as role models on social media. We excuse bad behavior if it ends up in a place that's entertaining for us down the line. Now, what do I mean by that? We'll excuse Jay-Z, right? We'll excuse Jay-Z for, selling whatever he needed to sell, whatever, boom, 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 to move on. And now we worship him for what he's doing now. And, we embrace his story. He's on Oprah. Oprah goes to Marcy, the projects he grew up in, telling the whole story as if it's a amazing story that we should follow. I totally get that a lot of, us grow up in these type of environments. However, that doesn't mean that we need to highlight those things. It may serve us better if we're highlighting other examples of quote unquote success. And the reason why I bring this up is because I wanted to touch on it earlier when you mentioned it, is because I was having dinner. with my bro down here. One of my big bros, he's Jewish, and we were having a conversation. And the conversation was him telling me, and he was like, because I asked him, we were talking about like different issues. We talk about is Israel. We talk about all different types of issues. And we got on the issue of black people. And it was like a political convo, like black people, why we support the Democrats, that whole conversation, how we can get out of this position that we're in. We keep getting handouts from the Democrats that cripple us, that whole conversation. And he was talking about, well, a big part of it is, who you worship in your community. Like, and he was like, I can't say any of this out loud because I'll get quote unquote canceled. I'll be called racist, all these different things. And the whole combo, he was kind of like leading towards this. And he was talking about, like, look at Jay-Z. We celebrate Jay-Z. We celebrate him, but why? But why? He started off with a terrible foundation or of doing something that if a lot of our young kids follow the Jay-Z blueprint, then maybe 1 out of a million will get Jay-Z success. But the other, 999,999, whatever, they're going to be dead or locked up. but we just embrace these type of people. And I think it's the same mindset that when we're looking on Instagram, we're not looking on Instagram to hold anybody accountable to putting out a positive representation of what we want to be. We just look at it as, oh, nah, like, you know, they in their 20s, let them enjoy themselves. Or they in their 30s, let them enjoy themselves. Or, yo, she want to wear that, let her do that. He want to post that, let him post that. And I think until we start to police that a little bit more, then our culture is always going to be a destructive culture. So that's just what I wanted to touch on. Bez keep texting.
Right.
Bez, what's going on?
So yeah, I don't think he can get on. I don't know why. We tried to help him.
Here, let me
And I
do
think
this.
he'll figure it out.
I got it. Hold on.
All right, so let me read the comments.
Put your email in the chat, Bez. We're gonna do it a different way. Put your email in the chat, and then I'll send you this through your email.
Yeah. So again, what are we talking about? Okay, so we talked about the submarine. We definitely figured that was stupid, right? Okay, so I sent that was the video with the girl with the did you watch the one that I sent you? Yeah, that was crazy. Did y'all see the video?
I got it on here.
Okay, yeah.
Explain it though first, so people can understand.
Okay, so based off of what I heard, and I had posted that I needed to see the minute before this, but the girl was like having a little tussle with, I guess, one of the people there, and she took the microphone from her, and she was like, "My name is Shaquilla, whatever her name said." She said her name was, and then she did like a story time after saying that like each person was able to say their name. As they graduated or whatever, and they didn't allow her to finish and say her name. And so she took it upon herself to take the mic, or she said they tried to take the mic from her. So she snatched it back and she decided to say her name anyway. And then she threw the mic down. Now, for me, I felt like I needed to see the minute before that to see like, how did the process go, or how did they cut her off? Because to me, she looked dead ass wrong, but whatever. We'll see what y'all say in a minute. Are you gonna share the video? No, he's not. He's gonna try to get Jarrell on here by any means. Right?
No. We good. I got it queued up. Don't trip. Hold that. Let me get on the screen. Get us off the screen. This is it, right?
Yeah.
This is it. Let me make sure y'all can hear the volume.
Oh, we can't hear it though.
Hold on. How do you? I
don't know if I know that. I don't know if I agree that.
Oh wait, here we go.
I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. Yes! You snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is gonna be all about me.
Oh, drop the mic! Congratulations!
Maybe we need to hear it again.
Yeah, start from the beginning.
All right.
Okay, let's go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. Yes! You snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is gonna be all about me.
Oh, drop the mic.
Yo, amping it up in the back. Hold on, I think there's another video.
Here's my story time. Basically, what happened was, I was walking on, and we had to announce our names and say our name before we get on the stage. So I was saying my name, and she literally, my name is long. My name, obviously, I have like 3 syllables in my name. I'm not gonna say exactly my name right now, but okay, just so you get a point. So I didn't even finish getting to say my name. And then the people that went before me and everything, they all got to say their name, their major, and even extras. And me and another girl noticed that she was pulling the mic down super fast for some black people. I don't want to be that person, but that was the tea. So, I mean, I just couldn't let that happen, because I just feel like I worked so hard to graduate.
Hold on. Let me go to the next video.
To graduate, and went through so much to graduate, that I just felt like I had to reclaim my moment. I'm sorry, like, I'm not a problematic person. I don't want to ruin no one's day. I don't want to violate anybody, but that's what she did. She didn't even let me finish speaking. She put the mic down, cut me off, and that was the only time I was able to speak. So I just feel like that wasn't right.
So I feel a few ways about that. So my thing is, again, everybody got a recording of just that moment and nobody got a recording of the moment before that. Now, if you notice, this was a thing that they were doing after the video. You could say what you want to say. You could be like, she was being racist towards all the black people, not like, oh, well, I don't want to say. No, say that because you did all of that. So you might as well just say what it is. That's my thing. Do I think that, and then I'm trying to understand, like, if were they putting the mic to your mouth to say, like, this is why I don't like clips, because it's like, were they putting the mic to your mouth to say your name, your major, or whatever else? Like, how does it get snatched out of you? Or like, how, when you were talking, did they take the mic from you? Like, I just don't understand, like, the connection or how she would have even taken the mic from her. So I don't get that part. But if you
I think
felt
they were
like,
saying that the lady was holding up the mic to certain people.
yeah, like, I'm
And then it's
wondering
like
if the lady was holding up a mic.
and then she'll move the mic, like keep it moving
Right.
fast on some people.
Yeah,
I
so
think
I'm
that's
like,
what
that's
she
the
was
only
saying.
way. Yeah, that's the only way I could see that happening. But then also, I'm like, again, if you felt like, that's what you had to do to get your point across, could she have done something different? Yes. But also, I feel like, again, I need to see the minute before because I don't understand how that could have happened. Um, mm,
Yeah, I don't really got no. I mean, I'm big on whatever you do, just be willing to stand on it. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, because she does look a little bit. If you don't have the context around it, she could look a little crazy, which is
Right.
what I'm
Right.
sure she looked like to a lot of people that were there. However, if she's
Right.
standing on what she's standing on, and she feel that that's what she needed to do, get it off her chest. I mean,
Right, because the way the lady was like right on, like, kind of like co-signing it makes me think maybe other people did notice that this was a thing, rather than like, no, relax. But like nobody was on no like chill, except for maybe the two people that were around it. But I don't necessarily, believe that this wasn't a thing because the people around her or the lady who was holding the camera kind of was on some co-signer. So maybe that it was a thing that they noticed, or maybe it was a problem. I don't know, but again, that's why I'm like, I want to see how, like, maybe the person before her went down the line, but it did look crazy as hell, though.
yeah, she looked crazy, but
Right.
I don't know. So, and I guess in my head, I'm always thinking like, okay, what else could she have done? You know what I'm saying? To maybe not compromise how she presents herself, because she doesn't know who's in that audience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it may not matter to, she may lose out on certain opportunities, but hey, sometimes when you standing on certain stuff, you're gonna lose out on opportunities. So it's just based on, she just got to be willing to accept whatever comes with it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was just a good one because I was just like, I understand her anger, I do, but I also was like, girl, what the fuck, But it's crazy.
And it's,
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, do you allow people, like, if that, I don't even know if this applies, but when you hear people say like, don't let somebody else take you out of character,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying, like, don't let them control how you emotionally respond to somebody. But it maybe that lady needed to get embarrassed like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
She
Maybe
might have
needed to get
call her
embarrassed.
shit out, call her stuff out, because like you're gonna have to be fair to everybody. You're gonna have to give everybody their chance
Yeah.
to say their name. And yeah, we are black, and we may have a longer name, whatever. But I
I
think
mean, I
that
don't think black people got longer last names than
yeah,
people.
black people got longer names. But you know what I'm saying? Like
What?
her name was longer. Her name
Yeah.
had 3 syllables, and you should let her get her full name out and her whatever else she wanted to say. But yeah, maybe she did need to get called out. Like
Yeah.
she did need to get called.
If it was like what she could have done, and it's the whole like armchair quarterback. We're looking at it. We weren't in the situation. It wasn't our big graduation day that meant everything to us, our family there. And now
Right.
she gets slighted. You're going to feel some type of way. Anybody's going to feel some type of way.
Oh
But,
yeah.
and it's not even really a but to say that she was wrong, but it's more of a but. Try to find maybe I don't know, maybe that was the best way to express exactly what happened but so you're not looking crazy in the situation.
Because I
Because
could think, because if you like say you were like a parent, you know what I mean, and like you saw that happen to your kid, like I feel like I would have an emotional response, like if somebody snatched the mic away from my daughter while she was saying her name or something, like So I don't know. I feel like I would feel some type of way about that too. Like, you
and
are
yeah.
my name.
Hey, Bez, turn on your video and then I'll bring you up on the screen. I see you in the back, but just turn on your video. But yeah, even in that type of situation, like maybe grabbing the mic and speaking it from a different standpoint, like I apologize for how this may look, or you ain't gotta apologize. Regardless of how this may look, I just wanted to let y'all know I've been up here. This has been a big day for me. I've worked my butt off to get to this point in time. And for me to get slighted, during, not be able to say my name, I think that that's a terrible thing. This lady, she's been picking and choosing exactly who to allow to speak longer. I'm sure a lot of y'all may have noticed it. And this is why I'm taking, my time back to say I'm such and such. And I'm happy that I'm all this type, maybe just saying, I'm not saying that she's wrong though, for even how she did it. I'm just saying like, what I would want somebody to recommend to me is to just be like, bro, you stand on your square, but maybe just present it in a way to where it's going to be more effective in a positive way for you, and still get a point across that you're trying to get across. Because if you just look crazy, now people looking at it like, well, was the lady tripping, or you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not saying she's wrong. She just got to be willing to accept whatever come with it.
Exactly. Okay. So again, I wanted to say, and I feel like we need to do this because we never do it, but since we have a few people on here, and I think, just letting people know that we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely tell your friends about it, share, because we also encourage you guys to give us topics, things to talk about, because like I'm on social media, but there's some stuff like current events we both are like, when did that happen? Or this was last week, or, because we both run lives that are different. But I think that when it comes to certain topics, like what do you guys want to talk about? What are some things that you would like to discuss? And I know Dak has offered plenty of times for anybody that want to come up here and talk with us. But again, I just wanted to do that. Like, we're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So share, tell everybody about it. If there's some things that you want to talk about or that we haven't discussed, definitely share them with us because we want to be able to talk about what the people want to talk about too. So that was just a little, what do they call it? And a refresher of the room. So just so y'all know why we're here, when we're here, and we're here for y'all. I was trying to buy us some time while Jarrell was getting on.
Do husbands and wives, Kamari know where I'm going with this. So we said we're gonna have some hot topics. So you may have thought, based on what Kamari just said, that we were winding it down. No, finna heat it up a little bit. Heat it up a little bit.
Let me get my stuff together.
I was very saddened to hear that a conversation with a close friend of mine, and they said that they weren't sure if they believed that that husband and wives don't cheat on each other.
Oh my God.
Like it was matter of fact, it was Kamari. It was Kamari. It is what it is. It was Kamari. We were having a conversation about, and Miss Shirley, that contract, that template is almost ready for the contract with relationships. For y'all that don't know, I'm a big proponent of have a contract with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend. Bring that contract to the first date, the template, and then you can fill it in. Don't worry, we got it covered for y'all. It's going to cover a lot of different topics: personal, professional, romantic, health-wise, all these different areas, parenting. We got it in the contract. So that way, when you sit down on that first date, you can go through it, learn a little bit more about the other person. see if it's going to be a match. So you're not wasting time doing the dating for 15 years, getting no results. This is going to be a lot more intentional. It's going to move to that courtship type of thing where you'll be able to know, is that lady for real? Is that guy for real? Are we compatible? Are we not compatible? So the conversation was about the contract and in it, the cheating aspect, or whether you're allowed to step outside sexually of your marriage. Kamari said, Kamari, you tell the good people what you said. I don't want to speak for you.
A great job.
I don't want to speak for you. You tell me. What's your thoughts?
No, so what had happened was, what happened? Oh yeah, so there was a guy who had a clip, and he was saying in the clip, if a man is a great provider, he's a great husband, he's a great father, he works hard, he protects and provides, does all these things, and he's a stand-up guy, does him having a little PUSSY on the side make him not loyal, and all of a sudden he's this horrible human, but he does all these things, he's, takes care of the family or whatever. I just sent the video to Dak as bait, just like, what do you think? Whatever. And then he said, a contract is a contract. Now, my opinion with the whole contract idea, I don't think that if I say, hey, I'm going to marry Joe for the next 50 to 60 years, me and Joe are going to be married, I would never sign a contract that says I would never sleep with it. Even though you say those things in your vows, like, well, do you even say that in your vows?
Yo,
I don't know.
I don't
know. No, I don't know what the vow is. But I would not. I'm not signing anything that says that I have to do anything for 60 years. No, I'm just not. But I think.
No. Say what you said initially. You said that you would not sign a contract that said that you are not able to step out in your relationship outside of your marriage.
Or if we're thinking like for the next 50, 60 years, because I don't think that is realistic enough to say, to sign on the dotted line. And now, yes, that could be your heart, because I did say that. I said, nobody goes in with the intentions of, I'm going to cheat on this person. I'm not going to be loyal to this person. But to sign a contract to be like, I'm going to be faithful for the next 50 years, I'm not signing that. Because again, well, here's the question. Hold on, y'all working my coffee.
Y'all can see why I was sad. I was truly saddened by this. Like, for real. It made me sad. It didn't. It
wipe your tears. I mean, dude, wipe your tears. But I think also at the same time, I'm being honest. Would you? Okay, so this is the question to y'all. If there was a contract that says, "Hey, me and Joe are going to be married for I plan to be with you for the next 50 years, and these are the rules," would you sign that? Like, would you really be like?
What do you think a marriage is? What do you think when you're taking your vows? What do you do?
I don't know. I gotta listen to the vows again to hear what I guess you represent. You say, what is it? Let me look it up. Like,
be there for better or worse, in sickness and health. All that. So hold on. This is why it's so important to have a contract like I'm suggesting, because you would just assume that whoever you're marrying, that the commitment is.
What did they say? Assume?
Hold on. Can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
When we think about marriage, we assume that the partner, or I don't like partner, the wife or the husband is saying that I'm going to be committed and loyal to you. Now, the fact that Kamari said that she would not sign something saying that, it goes to show how we think about marriage.
You're taking my contacts out. I said I would not sign it if it said, like, I'm not signing a piece of paper that says that I have to do anything for the next 60 years. Now, again, like,
that's not what you said. That's not what you said.
But I'm saying, no,
you
even
did not say anything.
I don't care.
It was just, we were just talking about the sex.
Let me finish. Stop talking. But what I'm saying is, even with the sex part, I'm not signing that either. I don't care what it says. I'm not signing anything that's locking me into one idea for the next 50, 60 years.
What do you mean one idea? What do you mean one idea?
If you tell me, Kamari, you got to stick to this contract for the next 50 years, regardless of what it says, I don't think I could sign that. But in terms of cheating and all of that, I don't think that I could be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be totally faithful, and I expect for you to be totally faithful to the point where we're just going to sign that over for the next 50, 60 years that we're together. I just don't think I would sign that.
Damn.
That's just me. That's just my stuff, because I don't. I almost
get
don't
it.
think that and the reason why I say that, let me just get into that and then why I say that, because I also don't think that it's happened. There are people who have probably never cheated on each other, but to believe that somebody could be together for 50, 60, 70 years, 50, 60, 70 years, that's just like realistic in this day and time. But again, I also am different from other people. I just wouldn't sign it.
Kamari, everybody's
But
different.
again, what else did I say also too? I have never been in love. I have never been in love to the point where, so I think when you're in love with somebody, you're like, oh my God, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I don't come from that standpoint. So I've never been in love. So I don't know. My thoughts are maybe a little different, but whatever.
And
And
this
I'm not
is
a cheater. I'm not a cheater though.
And this is exactly, hold on. This
Yes,
is exactly why I say that dating is stupid. Dating as it's currently constructed is stupid. It doesn't get to the results that we say that we're looking for. Here you can spend your 20s and your 30s doing all this dating, and we some of us don't even get to the point where we actually find somebody that we're in love with, and
right.
we develop. We're going backwards. So dating causes us to go backwards. Where at 20, we may have been able to. I'm pretty sure at 20, most people, maybe not you, I don't want to individualize it. Most women feel like, oh, I would definitely like. It would be amazing to commit to somebody. You know what I mean? To have somebody worthy that I can commit myself to for my entire lifetime. But then 15 years later, 15. Oh, let me finish. 15 years later, it turns into, I don't know if I could be committing to somebody for the rest of my life. I don't know. So really all dating does is sets you backwards, where it develops this mindset to where that it's not as likely for you to have a successful relationship moving forward. It's not as likely for you to have a successful marriage. Dating is dumb. Nothing comes from it except more and more bodies and more heartbreak, more and more toxicity, more and more trauma, all these different things. You said you had a question?
Yeah, what do you mean like dating comes with more and more bodies and more heartbreak? Do you think that you have to have sex during dating?
What?
Just explain what you mean. Just explain it. Just explain
I
it.
think that over 15 years, if you're dating, you're having sex with people.
Okay. I just wanted
Like
to, because when you
we are one of the most overly sexualized generation. So therefore, dating for us, people are having sex younger and younger. People are doing stuff younger and younger. People are open to casual sex more and more. So therefore, when you couple that with how dating is currently constructed, then yes, you're going to just have all you're doing 15 years is increasing your body count and heartbreak. Well, if you never fell in love with somebody, you may just be numbing. It may not even be breaking your heart. You just may be numbing it. It's
failing
like,
fast, right?
all these things.
Can we call it failing fast?
No, you can't call it failing fast. You've been doing it for 15 years. And there's no sign of it getting better. So then you hit the
I'm just
jackpot.
fucking around at this point. But again, like I said,
you joking, but you're not playing. Like you saying it in a jokingly manner, but you're not playing.
No, I am. I think it's funny because I'm like failing fast, but no, because I think also too, again, everybody has their own reason or their own understanding of their path as to why they are or where they are. So for me, again, I'm not salty about not being married right now. Now, 5 years ago, I may have been salty, but now I have a better understanding as to why I am where I am. But again, I think with the contract, it just sounds like really scary. Like, oh, I'm about to sign my. I don't think I can do that.
Accountability to our generation does sound scary. Accountability, responsibility. The same reason why we run from being role models is the same reason why we run from this, because all we do is run from accountability in every aspect. Bez, I think we can hear you. Say something. No, we can't. All right, continue. But yeah, accountability, we run from it. We run from it. And that's all you're saying right now. You may not recognize it. You may not say like that's what it is, but all you're doing is running from accountability.
I don't know. I'll come back to it.
Miss Shirley wrote, the wedding vows say until death do we part. My wife's parents We're married for 65 years. My father was the only man my mother ever knew as a woman in that respect. Sounds like
Not wife.
an
I think.
amazing fairy tale, huh?
No, my wife. What does that mean?
My wife's parents were married for. I'm not sure. I don't think she meant my wife, but I think it's
Right.
just a
Okay.
typo. But she's saying that somebody was married for 65 years. My father was the only man. My mom, my parents were married for 65 years. My father was the only man my mother ever knew as a woman in that respect.
Then, like, see, I don't know, like that.
But Kamari, you do understand that the reason why it sounds crazy to you is because how you were raised in this generation in society, what's been acceptable, what's been pushed to us. Hold on, just hear me out. What's been pushed to us? Overly having sex has been pushed to us since we were little kids. Just like the little kids now know every single dance on TikTok and they know all the music that we're listening to as adults, and it's pushed on them, it was pushed on us. So therefore, when this type of lifestyle and music and culture is pushed on us, we get to the age of 35 and we're thinking like, oh, that sounds crazy. It only sounds crazy because of how we were indoctrinated and brought up by the culture that we've embraced.
I don't know. I feel like with no experience, you can't really teach me nothing. But again,
with no experience, you can't really teach me anything.
Like if you only so, and this might have been a conversation that I've had before. I think we talked about it like last week. Again, I think that having only one person you don't know what you don't know, right? So if I've only slept with one person my entire life, then my husband for however many years, then I can't really speak on anything. So if I have a child and they want to ask me about dating or they want to ask me about sex, or you can't really tell me nothing.
Or you can tell them the experience that Miss Shirley's mom probably told her about, and it's probably going to lead your kid down a better path rather than the path of you telling them like, yeah, I was just out here in my 20s. I was doing my thing in my 30s. I had a bunch of sexual partners. Based on your logic, you don't know what you don't know. Hold on. If I can finish. Based on your logic, what you're saying is if you don't know what you don't know, so therefore just keep sleeping with men because you could just learn something new every time. Like what?
No,
like,
that's not what I'm saying, but okay.
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying if you've only been with one person. Now again, you can learn from anybody. She can only learn from her experience. I mean, she can only teach from her experience. However, I don't think that again, I don't think that is a quote unquote right way to do things. Like only be with one person. Now, if you are lucky enough to find somebody at 20 and you're like, I want to be with them for the rest of my life, and this is the only person that I want to give my body to, cool, do your thing. But again, I just don't know if I could submit to that. But again, whatever. Let's keep going. But I want you to answer the question Mia had put up, the one before this. Like, does the contract dismiss dating, or what did she write?
I don't know. Did I miss it?
Yeah, you had it up there, but you didn't answer it. Or well, we didn't speak on it.
So the contract replaces dating.
Shit. Hold on.
The contract doesn't replace dating. The contract dating is out of there. Dating is no, that's done. The contract, what it does is it those same conversations. What do we quote unquote? You can say that it replaces dating. Let's say that it replaces dating. We're dating somebody to learn them, right? To learn exactly what they like, but in all actuality, the dude, we just gonna tell y'all anything that y'all want to hear, which is a problem that I see with a lot of women. And this is why women get manipulated by politicians. This is why women get manipulated by pastors, because women, when they hear things that they like, when it's said in a way where I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I sent Kamari a video. To me, it was saying one thing that I took in, I was like, oh, boom, yeah, this just says this. She got offended and triggered by it. But then I sent her another video by somebody else saying it in a different way that was a little bit, more catered towards a woman's ear. And to me, it was the same message. So that can be dangerous, in my opinion, because all you're basing it off of, instead of the message, it's how it's being presented. So therefore, when you look at the women's movement and how in the 60s, they were able to go into the women with the civil rights struggle, who were the black women that were involved in the civil rights, they were able to manipulate them and to get them to come over to the women's movement. If you look at what the LGBTQ has done, they brought women over to get them to embrace certain things. Women have even embraced certain things that hurt them Like look at like sports and stuff where you got men competing against women and women don't even stand up and speak about it. You'll get canceled as a woman if you stand up and say, hey, it's not fair for this guy that was born with a penis to be competing against me in this sport. You'll get canceled. You'll be looking at it like, well, what's wrong with you? You don't respect Leah? Like that's the type of energy it is. Whether it's the women's movement, the feminist movement, women have always been manipulated because it's presented in a way that sounds good to them. So therefore, they embrace it. Now, with all that said, it's still the guy's fault. It is still on us as men because we are supposed to be the leaders. And because we've had such bad leadership as men, we've allowed the women that are supposed to look to us to leadership to venture out elsewhere. Just like when a kid who doesn't have a strong leader in the family, they'll venture out to different areas to find that particular leader. You get what I'm saying? So I think that women in general are manipulated. So the contract, getting back to that, the contract allows us to filter through a lot of that. Now, I also have to give the context. I think that the men, like as a woman, if I have a daughter or just men in general that have daughters, the men in your family should be the ones that are vetting the men that you are interested in. And to take it a step even beyond that, they should be the ones that are putting their daughter in an environment to be around a certain type of men with honor, integrity, principles, and values, and so on. So that way, you're not necessarily just saying, hey, you're dating Brian and that's it. No, you're just putting her in an environment to where you may even suggest like, hey, what's up with Brian? You don't like Brian? What's up with Daniel? Like, what do you think about Daniel? Because you know that these are a certain group of brothers that you've already vetted to understand, like, yo, these are solid brothers that I would feel comfortable with my daughter dating. And hopefully, that's why I said earlier when I was talking to school, we got to get to a point where we're actually living exactly what we're preaching, because we should be the example of our daughter of who we want them to end up with. So therefore, if our daughter respects the type of men that we are, then she's more likely to want to have that type of man as a partner. So I'm very big on men getting involved in the process of helping their daughter vet through men, because women don't know how to judge women. Women will be with a guy for 5 years, 10 years, and still be trying to figure out something that if they would have just introduced that guy to another man in their life, he could have told them that in 5 minutes. So here you wasted 5-10 years trying to figure out a guy, which you're really just, the dude ain't shit, but you're just trying to rationalize why you should be with him because you quote unquote like him, when a dude in your family could have already just established that with 5 minutes, a 5-minute conversation. And on the flip side, women, y'all know it works the opposite way. It may be hard for us to determine how many guy friends do you see that you have to where they get involved with these girls. Yo, she bad and her joint fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't even care about anything else. You start putting everything else out the window and you think of her as on this high level, but then a woman can be around her and just be like, bro, she's using you. Like in 5 minutes. So it's easier for us to judge the same sex. So when it comes to the contract is in place when there's intention there from the beginning. So there's intention, and then there's a contract that says, hey, what are you interested in? Like how many kids do you think that you want to have? How many times a week, are you cool with having sex? Do you want to go out on dates? Who's going to stay home and take care of the parents? What type of income can we expect to bring in? All these type of things. So it establishes a standard that we all can live off of and all can base the different things that we need to bring to the table in our different roles. Because if we don't have anything that says clearly what our roles are going to be, then what do we follow?
Okay.
What do we embrace?
So at what point or when do you ask those questions?
From the jump.
From like the first date or first time y'all are linking?
Yes, because
I'm just asking.
I'm answering. Relax. Okay. And you have to get out of the mindset of how you currently think about it, because how we currently think about dating leads us to not get married. We are the least married group of people, but the most dating group of people. So therefore, something is off. Something's not aligned. So we have to shift our mindset into when we get to, whatever age that we're looking to have a significant other. You know what I'm saying? When we get to that age, we have to go into it very clearly, which is, what you think about a family? What you think about kids? What you think about all these things, to the point where we don't need to be wasting each other's time. You know what I'm saying? If we just disagree on certain principle, foundational things, then this probably ain't it. Why compromise getting feelings involved, or why take the chance of getting feelings involved when that's gonna already be a situation that we already said doesn't align.
Now
so
that
you're
makes
protecting
sense.
yourself.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. Why waste time?
Everything I've ever said makes sense. Now, let me stop.
I was about to be like, shut the fuck up.
Yo, but that's how I look at it. That's how I
No,
look
that
at
does
it.
make sense, though. That also.
Yeah, like why waste time? Like Kamari, you introduce me to a dude that you're dating, and I guarantee you, I will tell you more about what type of dude that is than you can. First off, he gonna lie to you. He gonna tell you everything that you want to hear because his goal at the end of the day, let's be real, based on the culture that we've grown up in, most of our goals as guys is to just, we just trying to have sex with y'all. You know what I'm saying? We'll all this other stuff. We will tell y'all anything y'all want to hear, and that's the end. That's the end goal. So here,
so why
you
do
added
do
it
that? Like, just
because
asking.
we are fucked up. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is why I come at men more than like I'm telling you, because we were raised wrong. We were raised wrong. A lot of us didn't grow up with fathers in the household. So therefore, what did I just say? You look for outside influences. So if you don't grow up with a father in your household, or if you grow up with a father that you don't respect in your household, you're looking at celebrities, entertainers, people that you see as cool, people who get respect, people that get attention. And a lot of times those people, when you look up to entertainers and celebrities, they're doing whatever they need to do in order to get a dollar. So they're not necessarily living by principles or presenting themselves as the principled way that they want to live. They're presenting themselves in a way where it's like, yo, anything that's going to be entertaining, I'm putting myself out there. Music companies said I need to rap about hoes, I need to rap about drugs, I need to rap about all this other stuff. That's what I'm rapping about. That's why you see the Jeezys, the young Jeezys that will put out all this goofy ass messaging to our kids, sell drugs, trap or die, all this other stuff. But then their kid is going to private school, having an amazing life, living a different way.
Yeah,
so,
what's the name? Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say, Young Miami said that the other day, because I think Jason Lee had asked her, like, can your daughter be a city girl? And she was like, no. But my other thing was, okay, so if that is what guys are usually going for, right? Like if y'all are just like saying or doing or being whoever for sex, then how do we notice a guy who is not doing that versus a guy who is doing that? What are the things? Is there anything to look for?
You have to, the best way to do it is just bring them around other men. Bring that man around other men, because a man's going to be able to tell the temperature of another man. You know what type of person he is. Another man can, you know what I'm saying? And then once you also involve another man, I'll tell you one thing. Let's say let's say your father's in your life. You know what I'm saying? You have a father, you're growing up, you're a young girl, and you have your father get involved in meeting the young man. Hey, what's your intentions? What kind of guy are you? Just being involved. You maybe have your uncles, your brothers involved. That man, that boy that you're dating, in a lot of cases, just based on you having a father in your life, they're going to treat you with more respect. They see you as somebody that's protected. So therefore, they don't see you as the same way that somebody that may not be protected. The same way that these child molesters and stuff like that, they target certain kids that do not have a father in the household, that do these type of things. It's the same thing. When you have men around you, you're more protected. And especially when you have another man, like let's say if I'm dating a young lady and her dad's involved, there's a certain aspect there where I'm like, I'm gonna show her, a little more respect. Like I know her father, I don't want to disappoint her father. Like there's more things involved rather than it just being her. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it should be this way. I'm saying that men, we have failed. We have failed. We are terrible leaders. We don't do what's right. We don't stand on principle. All we ever do is pander to women. We pander to women. You see it with men all the time. These soft ass men that are out here just pandering to women. And those same type of pandering men, that's who the women celebrate. That's who y'all celebrate without even realizing like, yo, you're only celebrating them because they pander to you, which is just another form of manipulation. And that's why I said that women tend to get manipulated a lot rather than y'all embracing somebody like an Andrew Tate who's actually standing on principles, telling young men to become the type of men that are worthy of y'all embracing their leadership. You know what I'm saying? We get manipulated. We get manipulated into loving the things that cause that are detrimental to us, and then pushing away from the things that are actually helpful to us. Let me get to some of these. Hold on. Let me get to some of these. All right, I know I missed these. Ling wrote, "A good marriage is a divine union. It's not for everyone. Not everyone is marriage material." Clearly. Mari not ready for it. What you manifesting or praying for? Kamari definitely not ready for marriage. She's definitely. I don't even think Kamari ready for a serious relationship. I'll be totally honest. You're on mute.
Yeah,
You've been on mute this whole time. Yeah, you've been on mute this whole time. I was like, maybe she's talking to somebody else.
No, I was confident, and then I was like, yeah, no, I don't think I'm ready for marriage yet. No, I want it, maybe, you know, but I don't think
another example of what I said, dating is pointless. Here you could date for 15, 20 years and you still ain't ready for marriage. Get rid of dating. It's pointless. It does absolutely nothing. Dating makes you less marriageable. It makes you less ready to get married. Think about it. The more you date, it makes you less marriage material, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah,
but I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong.
No, again, I think it's trial and error.
Mia wrote that. I thought people set intentions during dating. If people set intentions during dating, then me talking about the contract and all these things wouldn't be as like crazy. It wouldn't sound as crazy to y'all as I know that it does. People do not set intentions during dating. One person may be setting an intention. One person maybe is set on intention. But like I told y'all, the tension goes out the window because that's just your intention. So if the person's intention is to just have sex with you, then anything that y'all are discussing during dating, what is a dude gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm with that. Oh yeah, you like museums? Yeah, I like museums too.
Wait, can I ask this question?
Let me text her at 11:11 and send her, a good energy emoji. Then she thinks that I'm in tune with the stars and the moon and all this other goofy shit. Y'all get really played. Y'all get finessed. Y'all got to understand y'all are the most manipulated creature on the planet.
But let me ask this question to the women too, though. If we're being honest, I feel like, if we're being honest, we know when a person is playing game. Like, have you really ever been finessed and been like wowed when a dude just like only wants you for sex, and then you're just like, oh my God, I really thought he liked me? Like, has that ever really? Because I feel like sometimes when they talk about ignoring the flags or the red flags, like that's really true. Now, there's been times where we've ignored the red flags, but has there really ever been a time, and this is to the ladies, that where y'all really got finessed into thinking like, nah, this guy was really for me? Or were you just ignoring the red flags and that's what happened? Because I feel like sometimes, like, and I might always lead with like, I think that somebody's on BS anyway. And I will also say too, I haven't always had clear intentions when dating. So when you're just dating just to do it, you will end up with some nonsense. I've done that. But my question is, like, have you ever really been like, oh my God, this dude played me and I really thought he was about me? Like 100%. That's a question for y'all.
Well, let me ask you, why don't you answer it for yourself?
I feel like there was only maybe one situation where I was like, it was more so if we were already on the friendship kind of, what do you call it, situationship, and you're like, oh, okay, when I get to this certain level, we could, talk about being together. That I realized I was like, yeah, I got into this thought of believing like, oh yeah, once he graduates from college, we're going to be together kind of thing. I did fall into that. But in terms of like the whole dating thing, I feel like guys don't have a lot of patience anymore. So they either cut right to the chase, or they like, oh no, we don't got to go to the movies. You could just come chill. Or it'll be one of those things like, if they want to text you after 10 o'clock at night, like certain things. Like I haven't had a guy that was like really stand up for like a long time and then just like did some dumb stuff and was like, oh yeah, I'm dipping now. Like I feel like most of the time they don't even have the patience to kind of keep up with certain things.
They don't have to. Because y'all have turned into dudes. Y'all just the same nowadays. It's like, shoot, I'm just calling him for some D. I'm just calling him for, oh no, it's casual. Y'all damn near the same thing as dudes. how y'all look at stuff. So therefore, that just goes to show you, if a dude feels comfortable coming up to you like, yo, I'm just trying, hit it and just keep it. Oh, well, I appreciate you being honest. Now I'm gonna let you hit. Yo, it's like, I don't even know. Let me get into. So Miss Shirley wrote, no, it's not that they are raised wrong, Dak. It's more of a peer pressure. Follow the leader.
What part?
If the people that are raised wrong, those are the ones that are more likely to accept peer pressure and follow the leader mentality. When you grow up with a strong leader in your household, you're not as likely to seek a type of leader to be in that follow the leader type of situation, to be as impacted with peer pressure as if you don't have a strong leader in your household. So you're still being raised wrong. You're being raised wrong. Huh?
No, I'm sorry. I think open communication is big too in the household. Like that really can help some things as well.
Dom wrote, I agree. My friend doesn't deal with any man without him meeting one of her male cousins or an important man that is a protective figure in her life from the beginning, so he knows what it is. From the jump. From the jump.
Yeah, I think, when you're dating with intention, I guess, yeah. Right. Yo, I am burning up.
Hold on. Somebody needs to verify this. Somebody needs to verify this. Andrew Tate is not perfect. He has at least 10 children by different women. I want us to sit with this. First off, somebody else in the chat, please confirm.
Oh, God, you can get rid of this name, Lord. I don't want to hear this name for the rest of the week.
And that's a problem. And this is the problem. And I'm gonna talk about why it's a problem. What Kamari just said. And she's heard this before. The fact that women are so turned off by Andrew Tate, it shows how silly, how not serious y'all are, how goofy y'all look at things, and how y'all can be so manipulated. Andrew Tate has been presented to women in a certain way to get y'all to hate him. Andrew Tate is speaking to men, just like we talked about before with Dame Dash. Oh, Kamari, give me a sec. When I speak to a group of men, I speak to a group of men differently than I speak to a group of women. So therefore, we all y'all women like to sit here and complain about, well, I would submit to a man, but the men that I've run into, they're not worthy of me submitting. These dudes ain't here, they ain't it. I talk shit about guys right now. The standard of men right now is terrible, trash. It is what it is. We all understand that. But here you have a man, Andrew Tate, and why I say that even black women are even more silly when it comes to this. Here you have Andrew Tate, somebody that could pass as being white. I didn't even know he was mixed at first until he started talking about identifying as black, how he started celebrating his strong black father and giving him credit for all of his success, all these different things. So here you have a man, Andrew Tate, that is encouraging and speaking to young men. So he's speaking in a way that young men embrace information, not how older women or younger women embrace it. So here you have Andrew Tate, a man that's telling men to be more responsible, to be healthy, to demand that they bring their best to the situation every time, to be able to protect and provide for their women, even if they're women, and to be open with the fact that their women may still want to work. It's up to her. But you just have to be in a position where you can be always the protector and provider. All these different areas that women complain about, Andrew Tate is literally speaking and calling out young boys on so that they can turn into the men that y'all say y'all want, but y'all do not embrace him. Y'all are turned off by him because y'all don't realize, y'all aren't aware enough to say like, oh, he's not speaking to me. He's speaking to young men. So why would I get offended because he's speaking to young men in a way that young men hear things? Just like if you're in a relationship, a marriage, a woman may not like or discipline the child the same way that the woman may want to discipline him. So therefore, you still, if it's a young boy, a father needs to be the one disciplining it and saying it in a way that that young boy understands. A woman shouldn't even be involved in that type of conversation because they don't understand what a young man needs. They should just trust their husband, as long as they're not doing anything crazy, trust their husband to discipline their sons in whatever way that they feel is best. And you should embrace that because you married this man. So you should kind of have some type of understanding of who they are as a person, and trust that they're doing the right thing, and trust that they have the best interest at heart of the kid. So here you have Andrew Tate, somebody who's standing on all these principles, and women hate him. And every time he goes on a show with women, what ends up happening? They come away from it liking him, saying like, well, actually, he was very respectful. He was well spoken. He treated me very nice. And they're conflicted because they're like, well, damn, I thought he was going to be talking how the video clips that I've seen. The video clips, he's not speaking to you. He's speaking to young men in a way that young men receive information. So therefore, when he speaks to women, it's going to come across differently because he's speaking to you. But we don't even embrace the people. Women don't even embrace the man that has the courage to stand up and speak on and tell young kids and challenge young kids to demand more out of themselves, young men, so that they can be better husbands to not only y'all, but y'all daughters. But that's the type of men that we say, I don't even want to hear about him no more. I don't even want to hear about him. You should be, women should be the main people supporting Andrew Tate. The main people.
Not speaking to us, right?
No, just because somebody's not speaking to you doesn't mean that you can't support them. There's a difference.
Right, and I think that again, but what are the other reasons why we're not supporting Andrew Tate? Let's just
you tell me.
What are the accusations?
Hold on. Let's be real. I'm glad
because
that
I know you understand that you think that he's being framed.
Hold on. Let's be real. Yesterday, you and I had a conversation. You and I had a conversation where you said, well, you said that he was guilty of the sexual crimes that he's not guilty of, that he just got charged of. Here in Kamari's mind, she thought like, oh, he got convicted. And I'm like, Kamari, what are you talking about? The man, first off, spent 3 months in jail without even being charged. That's illegal in most countries.
But what I'm saying
is
locked
him up so they could research him. Then now, because the 6 months came to an end where you only have 6 months to be able to press charges against somebody, so they put the charges against him. But in any other situation, if it was a black guy that was your brother or somebody that you like, or R. Kelly, we'll sit here and vouch for R. Kelly saying, oh, innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. I'm still listening to his music. We'll do all that for R. Kelly and what he stands for. But Andrew Tate, we look at it as, oh, no, he's already guilty. He's guilty. Make it make sense, ladies.
Okay, moving on. What else?
All right, let me get to some of these because I know you ain't got nothing to say to that. I think some women say they would.
Y'all, I be wanting to curse so bad on here. I'm just.
Do you have a response?
Because I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we know. Queez wrote, I think some women say they want relationships but are not ready for or really don't want one, so they can easily get manipulated.
Wait, hold on. What's the second half? The first part I agree, but the second part.
Some women say they want relationships but are not ready for or really don't want one, so they can get easily manipulated. Hold on, Queez, explain that one. Or if they have these wild standards hiding their ability to commit. I get what Quee's saying, I think. So basically setting these high standards, saying like, oh, well, I just can't find a man that's worth being with. I can't find a man. I was talking to my homegirl. She says, well, I can't find a man that has brought any value. Beautiful woman, solid job, solid person, not even on Instagram. Like, I'm like, yo, this is ideal. And we're talking and we're having a conversation like, yo, well, why aren't you married? Why aren't you this? If that's what you want to be. And her response was, I can't find any man that has brought me a certain value that I can't just bring to myself. So I'm like, well, damn, that's a shame, because for you to, have all these amazing traits about you, if you can't find somebody, then damn, like what is, somebody that may not have all those traits that you have, all those positive things, characteristics, whatever, beauty. And I'm sitting here, I wanted to say, but I didn't say it. Like, well, do you think that's a reflection of you based on what you're giving off? Because we attract what we give off, right? So maybe there needs to be some type of self-critical work to where it's like, well, if I keep attracting a certain type of man, then maybe there's something that I need to change within me. Or maybe it's like what Queez is saying, where I'm just sitting here having these outrageous standards, outrageous lists. Well, I need a man to be this. You set the standards so high to give you an excuse not to commit to a relationship.
I also think too, like sometimes where are you looking to date? Where are you trying to date? Where are you meeting men? I think that matters too.
Yeah. Definitely. Mia wrote, I think a lot of women don't understand their power. They allow men to lead and end up settling for whatever he wants. I think a lot of women don't. What's the power of women? What power are they not understanding? They allow men to lead and end up settling for whatever he wants. You may have to cam up, man. They about to impeach Biden. They need
Is that
to.
on the news right now? Is that a thing?
So Miss Shirley wrote, Dak is his biggest cheerleader. No, he's only human. He's providing and sharing his wisdom based on his life experiences. Not only do I receive that as disrespectful, Miss Shirley, but I'm going to still respond in a respectful manner. When you say biggest cheerleader, it's funny that you say that because you admittedly on the last show said that you've never even seen any of his videos. So for you to categorize me as being a cheerleader, it's almost as if I'm a fanatic to the point where I can't look at something critically. That's what we do when we're cheerleaders and fanatics. We're not able to look at something critical, look at the good, look at the bad, filter through it. I look at Andrew Tate very critical, just like I look at anything else very critical, which has allowed me to see a lot of the things that I've seen and grow in certain areas where I've grown. So for you to say that I'm a cheerleader and saying that he's only human, that doesn't matter. That is a goofy way of looking at things, to say that you can't support somebody and push something, another human that's standing on something. That's given into the whole godly, only God can do this, only God can do that. No, there's a lot of humans out here that are worth following. And it's funny how we have no problem with being cheerleaders of all these goofy rappers and goofy celebrities, but then when you have somebody that's actually standing on principle, you're saying that we shouldn't look up to them, that we shouldn't push them, that we shouldn't promote them, that we shouldn't encourage them to not get canceled when they're being unfairly canceled. When you have somebody in the world that has such a huge influence, that's willing to sacrifice, be courageous to stand on certain things, that mainstream media and the government, the quote unquote powers that be, that black people always running around saying, trying to oppress us and hold us down, those same people, you have somebody that's standing up against all of that, and we do not even support it. So the cheerleader comment, I did take that as disrespectful, but no, all good. All good. Especially considering that you acknowledge that you've never even looked into it. So maybe you should take your own advice, Miss Shirley, and what you gave to Kamari, and look into it a little bit more. Because
yeah, if you were gonna stick to.
So there we go. Hold on. I think I got. Hold on. Hey, Miss Shirley, you know you're welcome to cam up anytime as well.
All right, moving on.
Kamari, please don't tell me that again.
Stop! Don't see. This is why we need to cut it off at an hour. Because
again, don't tell me that again.
We need to maintain.
This is just another example.
Again.
Why do you feel that you can tell me to move on from a conversation? I'm just wondering.
Okay, so here's a real raw moment. Let's break this down. Mm-hmm. Now, if you said you felt that the comment was disrespectful, but you wanted to keep it respectful, it felt like it wasn't. It wasn't going that way. It felt like it was getting ready to turn into something else.
Because you got triggered by somebody calling somebody out on something.
No. I think you said what you needed to say. I think that you said what you needed to say, and then as you kept carrying on about it, it was just kind of like, okay, moving on.
Kamari, you do not get to police the words that I say.
I don't have to police what you're saying, but I think
that's what you attempted to do. So this is another example of how a lot of these women like Kamari will feel the need to step into something that had absolutely nothing to do with her, but she felt the need to chime in and tell me, and she felt that she could present me in an authoritative position and say, moving on. No, Kamari.
Nobody was coming. No.
But then if I told Kamari, like, hey, stop talking, Kamari, it would be a problem, right?
Whatever. That was a reach.
Stop talking.
That was a reach. That was a reach. That was a reach.
Talking.
That was a reach.
Can you stop talking?
You
see what I'm saying?
You're doing them.
All right. If they have these, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. They're about to. I'm not offended by what he is saying. Remember, Dak, I stated I was raised by a man's man, and he gave it raw. I'm not putting no one on a pedestal except my beloved father. I don't even. So you think your father is the only person that's worthy of being put on a pedestal? Like, I don't understand stuff like that.
I think that's what she's saying.
And that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, Miss Shirley. You think that your father is the only man worth being put on a pedestal? Maybe that's, I don't know. That's another conversation, maybe. You see me on the show all the time. I put Queez on a pedestal for certain things. I put Bez on a pedestal for certain things. I put Kamari on a pedestal for certain things. So for you to sit here and say that your father's the only man worth being put on a pedestal, that's kind of crazy to me. Okay. Queez wrote, I was speaking on the terms of them later saying, oh, I thought he was about this when in reality you knew he wasn't. Facts. And I know we're a little behind, but we catching up. Wait.
I didn't get that one.
Queez wrote, speaking on the terms of them later saying, oh, I thought he was about this when in reality you knew he wasn't. When y'all say like, oh, I thought that he was this, y'all rationalize staying with somebody that y'all know wasn't shit from the beginning. I think that's what Queez saying. I have watched the video. Which video you watched, Miss Shirley? Because you just said on the last show that you never watched them.
That was like 3 shows ago.
No, Kamari, you weren't here on the last show. You were sick. She said it on the last show. Pipe down.
Dad.
She don't like that, right? She don't like that, right? Right? She don't like that one. She can say what
I did. The pipe down.
A man can say he doesn't want commitment and the woman will accept it knowing she wants it. A woman's power is saying relationship or nothing.
Okay, I see what you mean. Because sometimes we do go along with things, and that's how you end up in situationships. Like I said, like with that one situation, I was like, oh yeah, he didn't really want to I don't want one right now. Then if what you're seeking is a relationship and he's saying I don't want one right now, then you need to walk away. I think that if that, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong.
A man can say he doesn't want commitment and the woman will accept it knowing that she wants it. A woman's power is saying relationship or nothing. Miss Shirley wrote, I watched Andrew Tate after I made the statement, I guess she said. So what were your thoughts on him? What were your thoughts, Miss Shirley? Do you think that he's somebody that we should put on a pedestal? Or do you think that, because let's keep it real. We're talking Black people especially. Black people need a leader. Black people need somebody that we can put. We put everybody else on a pedestal. The people that we put on a pedestal in Black culture are the very people that are destroying and putting out destructive type of imaging spells in the form of music, all these different types of things. So therefore, when you look at us needing a leader, should we just not put anybody on a pedestal? Should we not?
Maybe not. Maybe that fails us. Does putting somebody on a pedestal fail us? Maybe we can talk about that on Monday.
Answer it.
What you think? I said Monday. I got to think on that. I said Monday. That could be Monday's topic. Who's worthy of being put on a pedestal? What are the characteristics? What are the things what are the requirements of somebody that you need to put on a pedestal?
Which Ashley is this?
You don't know her.
All right. Ashley.
But does it matter?
Ashley. Yeah, it does matter. Ashley, you should relax because just Kamari and I, clearly when I just said the pipe down, clearly was just joking. And it's okay. Yeah. It's definitely okay for me to say relax, her to say, whatever she's saying. And if she has a problem with me saying relax, she could address it. Just like I addressed her, something that I had an issue with.
2:22 on the clock. Round it up.
All these corny comments, man. That's
what I'm saying. But this is where, again, when I tried to round it up, let's round it up. It's Friday. We started off great. We had a great conversation. And I think that, again, when you feel like things are getting funny, we need to be able to say, okay.
No, it's not things being funny. When things get funny, that's what we need to be speaking about. If we just had easy conversations on here all the time, all we would be talking about is goofy stuff that everybody else is already speaking about. If you want easy combos, then scroll through your Instagram and you'll all easy, fun-loving stuff, whatever. Naive stuff that you don't have to worry about. When you have these type of conversations, these type of conversations are the tough conversations that need to be had.
Okay. Well,
Ashley, say something. Say something. I don't even know what you. All
See,
right, it
but that's
doesn't
what
matter.
I'm saying. Like we have to.
No, it
If
needs
respect is not,
everything is
if
used.
respect is not at the table, then yeah, we need to regroup, right? So let's regroup.
What is
Now,
that? Literally, what you just said, you thought sounded amazing, but what did it mean?
see that's disrespectful. That like
How is
those are
that
the things.
disrespectful? I'm being direct. You just said,
It
well, when
sounds
stuff's not
disrespectful.
when perspective's not on the table, we need to regroup. What are you talking about?
Right. Okay, so if we start off, we can start all the way back from you said Miss Shirley's comment was disrespectful, then you
Yeah.
said something, and then I said something, and then it. So now we need to regroup.
And that's good. And that's good to have out there. It's
I
good
guess if you
for
think so. For me, that don't. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't. But whatever.
so then that's why on your page you can put out whatever it is on your page.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can police yourself on your stuff, but you can't police somebody else from saying certain stuff. That's why I actually enjoy you saying certain stuff that I think is crazy, because it allows for the conversation. I'm sure if you hear me saying something that sounds crazy, it allows you to give your perspective on it. A lot of the stuff that I may say that sounds crazy to you may be something that I think is perfectly fine, but then you can chime in. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that you're saying that sounds crazy to me, I can chime in on.
Again, I just want things. This is a good platform, and I think that always everything needs to be respectful. But that's just my opinion on that. We don't need to be going back and forth with the crowd.
This is when those type of comments are when things get soft. People take this is another thing, and then we can leave it off. I'll give you the last word. We have such a society to where we've been just accustomed to hearing the men that certain type of men speak in such a weak way that we get triggered by certain stuff when it's said in a direct way, where we get triggered by certain stuff. And I don't know whether that's the type of men that we've grown up around or what, but I don't even know. I just think that it's such a soft society, a soft generation that we live in. And I don't know. Maybe y'all disagree. Maybe Ashley disagrees clearly by her comments. Bez wrote to me in. Bez, we can't get you on.
What
baby.
is wrong with his phone? His phone. I don't know. Like, so when you are sending him the link, like, what are you like? Because he was on for a second with the.
He said he can't activate his mic or his
So
video.
tell him to scroll out of it and then come back. Like, you know how you like swipe out of something and then come back in.
Yeah, his phone. I don't know. He was on his phone before when we were on here. Maybe his phone's not updated or something. I don't know.
No. I think he just know what I'm saying is like go out of it, like just clear everything out,
Clear it out,
and then click the link again, and then see what happens.
Politically correct. Anything you say, you have to apologize for it. That's a fact. Yo, we become.
I mean, if you say something you need to apologize for, you should apologize for it.
I don't even. Yeah, she ain't let me finish. So it's all good.
Go ahead, finish.
Anything politically correct, incorrect. If something doesn't align with somebody's feelings, then you have to apologize for it. We've seen it plenty of times. You've seen it plenty of times, and what you see it from a lot is a lot of black men coming on TV apologizing for stuff that they don't even feel that they should apologize for they don't even feel that they're wrong about it, but they just get pressured into apologizing for certain things rather than just standing on what they said, standing on the principles when it hasn't been proven wrong. But we've become so accustomed to this, like I said, this weak society where if you say something that makes somebody upset, then you have to apologize, you have to cancel for it. Just because you say something that makes me upset doesn't mean that you should have to apologize to me.
Right. Okay.
Like that means everybody would just be apologizing for everything. Ashley just made me upset. Ashley just made me upset. So should she apologize to me? She made me upset. No, she shouldn't apologize. She didn't do anything. Like, this is why. Yo, this is a huge reason why a guy like Trump could win office, because everybody's super political. And I just got to say the right thing, say what people want to hear, so that way they'll vote for me. And then what ends up happening?
What happened?
Dom wrote, isn't this the point of being on a platform? People having their opinion of what they're watching. I think people are going to have an opinion of how you speak, regardless if you're joking or not. People should have opinions, and we should talk about it. Which is why, for me, I'm always inviting, cam up. Cam up, jump on the live stream. Jump on the live stream, state your opinion, because it's not fair to go back and forth.
Anxiety.
Huh?
I said it gives me anxiety, but okay.
By bringing people on?
No. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
What did you say gives you anxiety? You said it gives you anxiety, and I said, what gives you anxiety?
What gives me anxiety is that sometimes I feel like when people go back and forth, right? If people are going back and forth and you're like, cam up, like, is it really so that this person can get their point across, or is it that you can just like, that's how I feel?
It's because it's a certain level of accountability. Anybody can type behind a computer. But when you actually have to present your statement, your opinion, your argument, your theory on video, it's different. And it also gives you the chance, because you can't, now I have to interpret what your chat is saying. This happened on the other day where I saw somebody write something and I interpreted it a totally different way than what they meant. Cam up. Like, we should be used to that. And we've gotten away from that in society overall. We used to have debates on TV. They used to have Malcolm X, who they used to say hated white people. But he used to be able to be on TV debating. Phil Donahue. Farrakhan was on Phil Donahue debating. Khalid Muhammad, all these people were given platforms to where debate used to be a normal thing. But now we live in this cancel culture to where we don't even want to see the other side of things. And it's exactly what Dom said. Platforms aren't always going to be respectful at all times. It gets ugly sometimes. It gets ugly, especially when we're having conversations. It can get ugly, especially if you're misinterpreting what somebody's writing in a group chat. Literally, cam up. Jump on camera, like voice your opinion. It's gonna be respectful.
Okay.
You can police Kamari, but it's a problem when she does it back to you. Do you feel that way, Kamari?
Bro, this is what I'm saying. This is not the time for all of that.
Why isn't it? This is a perfect example.
Because look, I look at this. Look, because here's the thing. Because again, let me break this down. One,
please.
Ashley is my friend. That's one of my best friends, right? So she feels
that. So it's involved.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, again, this is supposed to be something that I take professional. So when it becomes a little too close to home, and we're talking about me specifically, or we're talking about you even specifically, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to talk about topics. We can go back and forth on topics, but when it starts becoming a me thing, a you thing, all that, it's not professional, because again, we can't see the other people that are on here. Granted,
this is coming from somebody who said they're super transparent.
See, like this is what I'm saying. I am very transparent, and people have seen that on the thing. People have seen that. I've talked about it.
We're on a show. You're very open about expressing your personal life.
Exactly. And I've done that in the ways that I've chose to done that. If I said, oh, I've been in a situationship before, and when I talked about the being in a situationship and what that meant, that's as transparent as I'm going to go. But now when we're getting into like the rules and regulations and how you talk and how you do things, that's not the time for that. This is what we.
So what was over the line for you? I think this is a good conversation.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to have this conversation because for me. This is not professional. For me, this is now taking away from the podcast, and we're talking.
You're hiding behind it. You're running from the convo. You're running from the convo and
hiding
behind
it. I'm telling you,
professional.
I'm not having this particular conversation on this platform. Now we can get
Kamari doesn't want to have the combo. So Ashley, let me respond to you.
We can have the conversation.
Perfectly fine. You don't have to. So exactly. Let me respond to Ashley, since you are a close friend of Kamari's. Since she just put that out there, you said you can police Kamari, but it's a problem when she does it back to you. I just asked her if she feels that way. She didn't want to answer it. So
and I said we can talk about it after the show.
So then Kamari, I'm responding to Ashley, if that's okay. If that's okay with you, I'm responding to Ashley because she made a comment on, and Bez is up.
Yeah. So moving on.
Ashley, how about this? How about this? You, me, and Kamari, we'll talk about it afterwards. Is that what you just said?
Next, moving
Kamari don't want to address it. She don't want to address it. She don't want to address it
because this is not the space for that. That's what I'm saying. This is not the space for that. So again, like I said,
where you at?
Terrell is up. He figured it out right on time.
You're a little off. The service is. Ooh. What's good, baby?
Yo.
Yeah, we hear you, baby.
Yo, you can hear me?
We hear you. What do you gotta say?
You can hear me?
We
Yes.
hear
Hold
you.
on. Let me get my mic situated. Hold on.
Get right. And Ashley, you could pull up to. Nah, I'm just joking. Just joking. The anticipation is real for you, Baz. It's working? Service is down a little bit. I can see the signal. Ashley, I would respond, but it's no point. But I don't even know what to say. And it wasn't relax. It was, we're moving on. That was the comment, just to be clear. Bez, you good? No Bez G.
I think when maybe I don't know, maybe he'll just have to do it from when he's not in the truck, like somewhere stationary.
Yeah, he's driving. Yeah, it's him being on the road to keep going in and out of service. But at least it worked with him connecting his camera and his mic.
Right.
We heard him a little bit, so that worked. We're gonna get. Hold on, let me call him. Let me see. Yeah, he back. Bez, we gotta try this the last time. Yeah, we can hear you. Just start talking, baby.
Yo, sound like him to all the beautiful people out there, huh? Yo, what's up, Bar G? D Cole, I love it. Yo, y'all been on for a minute, man.
Yeah.
I've been going in today. It's
Too long.
Monkey Friday.
I think we're overstimulated. I think
You know, I'm checking in Savannah, Georgia. About to pick up a little head up north to Chicago. You know, I just wanted to come and show love. I was talking about a topic that I wanted to chime in way back, but we was having difficulties trying to get set up with everything. So, you know, we here now, though, right? We is here now.
We appreciate your energy.
Talk to me, Baz, before I start addressing people in the comments.
What you want to talk about, baby? Y'all been talking about a lot today. Y'all been talking about relationships, Kamari's love life, not trying to commit. Talk about God, you know. I wanted to talk about God.
You? Yeah, let's talk about it.
So, you know, y'all already know that I've been through many different phases of my religious spirituality, whatever you want to call it. Grew up Christian. I thought that was the only way. I had friends that was Muslim and people that was Muslim and other things trying to, nah, this is it. Y'all are wrong. Then when I converted over to Islam, I kind of had that same thought. Oh, damn, y'all Christians are wrong, you know. So that's what kind of made me step away and say, well, if this person's saying this one's wrong and that one's saying that one, who the hell is right? Like, they believe in, Muslims believe in, that's, you know, from Allah, that's, you know, whatever Prophet Muhammad speaks about is from Allah. Christians believe whatever's in the Bible, and, you know, Jesus is like, so who is right at the end of the day? Because at the end of it, because really, when I said about going to heaven and hell, that comment that I made is because of the standards. Because like you said, if you Christian, if you don't, you got to believe Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior to go to heaven. And if you Muslim, there's other things you got to believe. You got to believe that there's only one God, and there is no other associations to God. So Jesus, as Christians believe, is a part of God. Muslims don't believe that he's a part of God. So it's like, well, who the hell is going to heaven and hell? Who's really going, huh? And that's why I gotta say, you know what? I don't think there is a heaven and hell. Honestly, ain't nobody been there. Ain't nobody told us about it. I think it's just something that become people aspire to because the thought of death scares people. I've thought of now accepting death. It doesn't really like death is a part of life. You
Hmm.
can't live without dying. Like you, everybody on this earth is gonna die. So why be afraid of it? Why be scared of it? Is gonna happen. You know, like people was talking about the people that the submarine thing, the rich dudes, and people was all sad. I'm like, well, you know, like why is this the only person? Why are these the only people being talked about that's died? There's thousands of people that died that very second, multiple different ways. So why are we only talking about these people who died from fucking going underwater? When it's like, well, they took the risk, so you playing dirt, you bound to get dirty. You feel me? I know I'm all over the place, Brad, but that's
Nah,
just
you right on
like I
point.
said, that's just kind of my thoughts of how I've kind of moved through life. Like people think like, oh, you like you have this negative. I'm like, no, there's no negative, there's no negative, no positive. It's just like flatline. You know, life isn't all good and life isn't all bad. Like that's how I see it. You know, things happen that suck, and things happen that's great, and I'm not gonna hold on to the great things, and I'm not gonna hold on to the bad things because it all comes and goes. You know, it all comes and goes. So, yo, it's
Yeah, I
Friday.
think
It's
I,
payday for some folks. Let's get to it. You already know I'm on a mission. Like, I'm on a mission.
On a mission.
Yo, I just did an 8 ball. I just did an 8 ball before I pulled up too. So if
what
DOT
is
put me over, I ain't trying to pull in the weight scale because I may be in
what?
violation.
Yeah, I'm confused. But I think to your point about the heaven and hell stuff, I do think that it is all fear based, and I think that is the foundation of it. It's like, if you can scare people into thinking they're gonna go somewhere, then it's like, well, then we can control
Well,
um
it's also to keep people in line of doing things
the way,
the right way. Like I was talking to my man the other day. I said, yo, here in the States,
bro.
it's wrong for a dude to have sex with a 13-year-old, a grown man. But in other countries, that's very regular. People are marrying 13-year-old, 14-year-old girls, getting
Right.
them pregnant and having them as their wife. So what is wrong? Like, are we saying what they're doing is wrong? How can we say that when they saying what we're doing is, like it's like that's why I'm like, what is right, what is wrong? Queez, let me say, let me do what y'all do. Checking in the chat. Queez said divine is deceitful big zoo. That's why I say divine is deceitful because people talk about divinity nowadays, like just being a divine spirit, just being so divine. Whereas we're also very deceitful. We lie to ourselves, we lie to other people. Regardless if we want to acknowledge it, we always do it. We all have said we're going to do something, not done it. We all have said, you know, like we all are liars. We're not all just divine beings. As much as we may aspire to be, like the truth is you can't be because you can't have a positive without a negative. You can't have good without bad. You can't have ups without downs. They both work in the time. It's the yin and the yang. It's the night and the dark, night and the day. You can't have one without the other. You can't have all sunshine without having the dark skies. But everybody wants to live in sun and sun and abundance, da da da. But they forget about hey, there's also darkness out there. We see a lot of it. For the majority of the night, it's dark. But everybody wants to live in the sun. But that's life. I'm no longer pressed, not even pressed. I don't want to let other people's ways, and that's why I always say to you, yo, there's so many people out here with so many different views trying to change everybody to get in line in one way and focus on one goal. It's going to be impossible. Like,
Right.
it's a battle that we can fight, but we'll never win it. People have been fighting this battle for life, and there's still things that's going on. It's still death. It's still people that's going to be on the bottom that's never going to make it to the top. And as much as you want to see them at the top, they ain't ever going to be there, And I guess people say, oh, that's not having faith, that's not having hope. Yeah, but it's also being realistic that, again, you got people on top. If there's people on top, best believe there's going to be people down bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bez's word
Yeah.
of wisdom for the day.
What's your response, Mar?
No, I like it. I agree. That's cool.
Yeah, I think you hit everything on the head, but my question to you would be, so what do we do?
What do we do as far as what?
Like
You
if
just
if
did.
if if it's already over, if we can't make an impact, if we, like in an MMA fight, we tapping out, to understand that, like, yo, it just is what it is. We just never gonna get to a place where we need to get to. What should we do? How should we conduct ourselves, or should we just not care?
No. I didn't say. So I inspired. Hey, go out there and you're gonna impact people. You definitely change
Mm-hmm.
people's lives. Even like I told you with me, like looking at you how you grind. I'm like, damn, that really be into it. That's inspirational. But for you, I think with the stress, yo, people
Mm-hmm.
got like that is like okay. That's where I feel like it needs to be checked out, kind of, because
Yeah.
people are going to do what they want to do. People are going to live lives, like Kamari said, do what you want to. Do what makes you, even the thing nowadays, do what makes you happy. So I think you individually, if you see you want to do something, continue to do that. But I think when you add the stress of, damn, these people ain't doing, or our people ain't moving in the right direction, I think that's when it becomes like something where it could be detrimental to you and your health, trying to see a group of people change that may never change.
Right.
Nah, I think that's a fact. And you want to know, you touched on something like the stress. It's extremely stressful when you take on the burden and responsibility to try to change other humans as a human, right? It's almost
Right.
like so when that stress, knowing that happens on the little scale that I do it on, you know what I'm saying? Like my little small scale compared to some people that have the influence of the masses, which is why talking about Andrew Tate is so relevant for me, because here you have certain individuals that take on that stress, that embrace it in a courageous way, that know that everything that they're saying is going to be hated by half the world. You know what I'm saying? So when you have that type of person that's willing to stand up on that type of stuff, that's why I believe it's important that we do support those type of individuals and people who may not have ever been in that position to where they understand the stress of trying to lead people from one place to another. It may not be as relevant to them, so they may not be able to necessarily appreciate exactly how hard it is for that particular individual.
Hold
I
on.
think you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop off at 9:45. Well, 10:45 for y'all. 9:45. But again, this was a good discussion. Most of it. I don't know if you guys are gonna stay on or not. So if we don't get to do my 15 seconds, I want you guys to have a beautiful weekend.
Bez, what you got?
You heard me?
Yeah, you do your 15 seconds, girl.
No, I didn't say that. I was saying I was hopping off. No, I'm saying I'm hopping off at 9:45. I didn't know if you could hear me, but if you guys are gonna stay on, then I won't do that.
No, we still want the 15 seconds.
No.
Right.
Do the
All right.
yeah, do the
Well,
well.
I'm not
Let
doing
let Bez just finish what he's saying.
Right.
I gotta hop off too, but let Bez finish what he's saying, and then you can do the 15 seconds.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying. Yeah, I said what I said, man. I mean, I know I don't like to say much. I don't want to. I don't like to take. There's people that's put on pedestals and people that's down here. And again, if you're gonna put somebody up, then you're gonna put somebody down. So I don't really like to get into too much about me. A lot of my thinking just comes from just life, just experience other people, and just trying to stick to it, man. Just I'm here on the journey. I'm here on the
But
journey.
it's worth sharing. It's worth sharing. I think if more people like you shared their experiences, I think we'd be better off.
Right. Yeah. this is true. You know, it is good to hear different experiences from people, but I also know that I feel like some people sharing experiences also can be, you know, we see it now when we talk about people, the narcissists, like people sharing their experience, like they the most important person in this world, and you know, and God create like stuff like that is like, you know, that's where I really don't agree with, but definitely appreciate y'all for letting me tune in. Was waiting to action. Damn, I gotta bust this U. Look, messing with y'all, missing my turn, man. I gotta bust this illegal U-turn in the middle of the street. I know I got this big ass trailer, this big ass truck. Oh,
nah, bro. We appreciate you tuning
Look,
in.
I'm in here. Yeah. But you know, the divine and deceitful. I'm here for it. Listen, we're gonna have our ups and downs. This is life. That's life, yo. It is what it is. We here for a moment. Enjoy it. Be blessed, I guess. What is blessed? Don't let me get started. But yeah.
Yeah, we need you on early. Yo, next one, you should come on earlier, bro. You should come on earlier because I feel like I feel like it may have lost its because we were talking about it earlier in the conversation. It may have lost a little bit of the impact that it could have made. You know what I'm saying? If you were on a little earlier. So definitely tap in earlier next time, bro. We'll get the stream figured out.
Yo, shout out to Mom Dukes. I'm glad Mom Dukes really pointed that out. Like about what that little rant I went for my birthday.
Oh, you talking about my mom?
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. And Kamari, I know that's exactly what I'm saying as far as why it's important for you to express what you express. Because I learned that from my mom. Because a lot of the things that I was questioning with religion, I had no idea that she was questioning the same things until I started speaking out on it. And just like what you posted, she brought it to me. It was like, hey, did you see what Jarrell wrote? She was like, that's interesting, like to see, you know, his journey and his process. So people are paying attention. So that's why it's important for you to share a lot of those things, because we hear a lot from the very same perspectives rather than a broad range. So, yeah. OG Mar, 15,
right,
15,
so
maybe 20.
15 seconds. You can kind of use it however you see fit. I think I'm going to use my 15 seconds to think about how you want to show up and think about how you want to present yourself. I think that that's something that we can all do. So I'm going to use my 15 seconds to think about how I want to show up in the future, whether it's on platforms like this or even on social media, however you use your social media. Back to what we were talking about before. How do you want to show up? What do you want to look like when you are showing up in spaces? So let's go. Seconds. All right. Have a great weekend.
Baz got the blinker on. Yo, y'all have a good one. Yo, everybody have a good one. We're going to lock in with y'all on Monday. All right. See y'all soon, man.